Check, check, 1 2, check, 1 2, check, 1 2. Check, 1 2, check, 1 2. Check, check, 1 2, check.
Perfect.
1 2. All right, we on. We on, motherfuckers. Let me get this. Let me get this off the screen. Let me go to some news. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do, but I'll do it since I'm here. Rank, drama, news, drama, plus, event, plus event, Pokemon event, promo event. There we go. Go to Pokemon TCG. Get these promo cards. Perfect. Boom. Oh, I should have saved that. Whatever. All right, let's go to YouTube. YouTube. There it is. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's this? Crackdown hits Chicago. Let's do it.
Mind up on Chicago, though?
Well, we're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in. When you lose, look, I have an obligation. This isn't a political thing. I have an obligation. When we lose, when 20 people are killed over the last 2.5 weeks.
Damn, 20 people? Fuck,
And
that's sad.
75 are shot with bullets. So let me tell you a little story about a place called D.C., District of Columbia, right here where we are. It's now a safe zone. We have no crime. It's in such great shape. You can go and actually walk with your children, your wife, your husband. You can walk right down the middle of the street. You're not going to be shot, Peter. You're safe. Everyone likes you anyway. They probably wouldn't do it. But it's so dangerous. And there are people in this audience that you've suffered greatly. There are people in this audience that have been mugged and hurt badly, and they don't want to talk about it. Maybe you were very brave in talking about it. You made quite an impression on a lot of people. I appreciate it. But there were other people in this room that have been hurt very badly just walking down the street in D.C. Washington, D.C. is a safe zone right now. It's a safe city. This took place in 12 days. Now it's 15 days, but 3 days ago it became what's known as a safe zone. It's a safe city. And this city was really bad. Really, really bad. We took 1,600 people out, hardcore criminals that will not be coming back anytime soon.
Really, really bad.
And we're very proud of it. You know, to have our nation's capital lose every week. You know, it was like years, many years, where every single week somebody was killed for many, many, many consecutive weeks. This went on for years. And then we had, last week it was announced that nobody was killed last week. And I made that announcement in front of a very distinguished leader of a country. And I'm saying proudly, ladies and gentlemen, nobody was killed in Washington, D.C. this week. He looked at me like, what's that all about? I say, yeah, we have a little bit of a crime problem. And we don't have a crime problem in Washington anymore. And the mayor has been very helpful. And the police commission has been very helpful. And it's been a great team. And I would love to have Governor Pritzker call me. I'd gain respect for him and say, we do have a problem, and we'd love you to send in the troops, because you know what? The people, they have to be protected. I saw today on one of your networks, not a friendly network.
CNN.
Except really the opposite, I would say, very unfriendly network.
CNN.
And they interviewed about 12 people on this morning. Most of them were African American, who were black.
Black.
And they were saying, please, please, please let the president send in. These were people from Chicago. Please, we need help. We need help. We can't walk outside. We're petrified. If the governor of Illinois would call me up, I would love to do it. Now, we're going to do it anyway. We have the right to do it because I have an obligation to protect this country. All he has to do is say, sir, we need help. It's out of control. And everyone knows it is. He's not kidding anyone. I would love to have, I would say, Governor Moore call, because I watched him over the weekend trying to explain that Baltimore, what they need is housing. No, they don't need housing. They need to get rid of the criminals. These are hardcore criminals. You know, we took many people off the streets of Washington, D.C. They're hardcore. They're not going to be good. In 10 years, in 20 years, in 2 years, they're going to be criminals. They were born to be criminals.
Born to be
Frankly,
criminals is
they
crazy.
were born to be criminals, and they're tough and mean, and they'll cut your throat, and they won't even think about it the next day. They won't even remember that they did it. And we're not
Like
going to
our
have those
government.
people. Washington, D.C. is now a safe zone. It's a safe place.
People are dying. That should be the number one issue on everyone's agenda. To make this seem like Trump is after some sort of political power or this is like a political play is ridiculous, because obviously this crime in these cities is out of control. Crime in these Democrat cities is out of control, and the leadership is doing nothing about it. It seems like they're pretty much allowing it. J.B. Pritzker is failing
Damn,
Illinois.
over 50 people
Brennan
shot
Johnson is
in
failing
Chicago?
Chicago.
Yo,
and to
that's
accuse Trump
fucking
of making this
wild,
political is
brother.
exactly what
Over
you guys
Labor
are
Day
doing.
weekend?
You're making this political.
Shit, bullets
You guys don't
flying.
want to lose
Chirac, baby.
whatever it is in your state. You're making this about illegal immigrants and whatever
I'll be on
it's
till
not.
7 a.m.,
But at the
baby.
end of the
Then we gotta
day,
get ready for
people
the
are
day.
dying. Americans are dying. Taxpayers are dying. The people that put you in these positions are dying. That should be your number one priority. And you guys are making this political.
They did beat up Big Balls.
Yeah, man. He's a kid.
We can't act like that didn't happen.
He got beat up. Kid got assaulted. People are getting stabbed and shot. We watched the guy get hit by a car after making an ATM withdrawal.
Yeah, that was
This
the
is
most
crazy.
And crime has not happened in what, 15 days?
I'm
Wow.
seeing on TikTok
Well,
people making. I
a
just saw a
murder.
TikTok of a girl in DC saying DC is the safest it's ever been. Should we
Wow.
put it on here? I'll send it.
That's
I seen
crazy.
the video of a woman in Chicago saying, "Please send the National Guard here." Black woman.
Yeah.
Black woman made the video in DC. Black people are happy that Trump is doing this.
I think the actual total, they came out with the actual total over the weekend, and it was more than 50 people that died.
More than
Yeah,
50
so we
people
thought
like that?
50 people got shot. Actually,
Damn.
they totaled it up for the total number of people that got shot, and it was actually 59 people with
59
9
people got
homicides.
shot.
And 3
Damn.
mass shootings.
Only 2 people
You
arrested.
know the sad part about this?
Jesus.
It's gonna be more killing because of this.
It is.
It's gonna be more. So you actually need to get the National
That's
Guard.
crazy.
That's what I said, bro.
50
It's
people
bad
died?
because a lot of these, 80% of the time, I don't think people are doing this for money, bro. I think people are just into it and it's beef. It's a war in Chicago. We hear the rappers say this all the time, guys.
war zone.
We're intact in the black community, and we listen to these
Chirac,
rappers.
baby.
They say it's a war in Chicago, a literal war, not for money.
Everybody trying to get their revenge.
This ain't Ukraine and Russia. This nigga on nigga killing each other,
Nigga on
is
nigga
harming other
fucking
people.
hilarious.
And Chicago is infested with crime, guys.
But you know what's different about the war they're doing? You know, usually people fight wars for land, you know, and resources.
And they
and
doing
shit.
it for their blood.
That they don't
Because they
even
grew
know.
up in the shit. I mean, it's not for money, bro. Like,
That's
I
crazy.
mean, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
shit.
they're not doing this shit because for drugs. They not stealing each other's.
Some of it might, I say about,
Nah, bro.
I say 60-40. Some is drugs and some is revenge. A lot of murders I have seen
a lot of people get
is
murdered,
behind drugs.
getting robbed.
Yeah,
getting
dealing with
drugged.
drugs.
I would say, yeah, it's about 60-40. 60, just they want to kill
Like
each
even
other.
watching,
And 40 is robbery.
I was just watching the first 48. Everybody that usually got murdered, it dealt with drugs. Like almost 5 episodes. Every person that got killed is dealing with something dealing with drugs.
That's bad.
That's
and that
fucking
might be
insane,
in
bro.
a different
Chirac.
city, but that's not Chicago.
Yeah,
they're
Chicago
they're-
for sure.
It's just a
Yeah.
violent cycle of violence in Chicago.
We seen the documentaries on Chicago.
It's just
Yeah.
It's not,
religious
oh, I want to go
violence.
take his drugs. It's I want to kill him. Because I want to kill him because he killed my family
For
member.
street respect.
That's
The
when it's super
streets.
bad
I
to
need
me.
the street
But this is what J.B. Pritzker has to say, guys.
You're going to hear people, especially this past weekend, 54 shot, 7 dead.
59.
Yeah.
They're going to say
That was
the
like,
city's not safe. Would
this motherfucker look like Joey Diaz in this motherfucker.
ask your friends to
Joe
ride
Rogan's
the L
homie.
after midnight or after 9 o'clock at night even to come
Yeah.
down to the city from O'Hare.
Look, big cities have crime. There's no doubt about it.
But that's a gang
But
of
let's
crime.
just pay attention to what President Trump is doing targeting Chicago. He's overlooking red states that have much higher crime rates.
You're tripping.
You're going
I would like to point out that every time they do this thing where they say red states with crime rates and they bring up things like Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia,
And counties,
Missouri. If you look at the cities where the crime is coming from, it's blue cities. Chicago is a major city. The crime in Chicago is allowed by the blue, by Brandon Johnson, who ignores it, by you, JB Pritzker, who ignores it.
Y'all know-
Chicago votes blue.
Y'all know this is brother?
Yeah, transgender, billionaire, both of them.
Christ.
I don't even know why he's so rich. He's a stupid fat freak.
I'm gonna tell you
Stupid
why.
fat
Let's
freak.
scroll
He
back.
look like he a mob.
That's
Like,
hilarious.
he be part of the mob, you know.
Got a little polywag.
Oh,
Let's
that's all we
go.
need to see right there.
Yeah,
We gotta
Nah,
keep it
polywag,
100, man.
baby.
All the crime and the soft on crime ish is coming from these blue cities and blue leadership and Democrats,
Yeah,
man. You
close
guys
my
are
damn
not
close
acknowledging. I think they like it at this point. I think they like it. I think they like
Why
having
did they
chaos
like me?
and
I told you.
crime in their cities.
They probably literally want black people to kill each other. That's probably their agenda. They probably, you know what? Let them niggas kill each other. We was gonna move the immigrants. Where all them niggas die, we was gonna put the immigrants right there to replace them.
It's just funny
That
how
seems to be the issue. They want the black people to stay in a cycle of violence, crime, and poverty.
Yep.
And they want the immigrants to come in, and we're gonna give you all these tax dollars to subsidize your life, and all you gotta do is vote
To
for
shut
us.
your
I
ass
That's
up.
why
I wish black people would wake up. I really do. But I mean, they are, man.
it seems
They
like
are.
there,
They are.
there's a shift that's happening.
It is a shift. It is a shift. You know, Donald Trump did do that. But this is crazy, guys. I mean, it's people. But you know what's crazy? A lot of videos of these protests,
Just
they're
right.
all white liberals.
Yeah, and I guarantee you, like I said, y'all, white liberals are one of the greatest threats to
They never-
black people because these people are, oh, we don't want y'all in DC, we don't want y'all in Chicago. They're not living by where the crime is. They're not the ones that are highly affected by this. They're getting the ripple effect. They're getting what bleeds out. They're denying what's going on here because they're watching the news and listening to people like JB Pritzker. This is ridiculous.
It says at least 90% of the people.
I haven't seen Pac-Man in a minute. Let's go see what's going on with this motherfucker.
If you've been seriously injured, your case
see what the
could be
libs are
worth
saying.
millions, and Morgan & Morgan can help you fight for it if you become their client. They've won major verdicts, $12 million in Florida, $26 million in Philadelphia, crushing these lowball insurance company offers. It's free unless you win, and you can start your claim now at forthepeople.com/Pacman, or scan the QR code on the screen, or click the link in the description. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. If you want better sleep, check out Pod 5 from our sponsor, 8 Sleep. It is a smart system
put y'all
that
through
fits
an
over
hour.
any
That's
existing
crazy.
mattress, and it
Let's not put an hour. Let's put something else. Let's see. Logan Paul is furious. What?
Gotta keep it together, bro. Does the fan help or? Yeah, fan helps. Me. Oh, do you want me to describe it for you? I'll give you the play-by-play. Bro, what happens? I thought I was gonna keep it together, bro.
Imagine going to a used car lot and the salesman brings you the car with 200,000 miles on it,
My
10 years
days is
old,
crazy.
and you're sitting there crying, oh my God, this is such a beautiful car. When you have the capability of buying that model, brand new with 0 mileage.
I'm weak.
Clown
right
world,
now.
dude.
If I had as
Clown
much
world.
money as, yeah, that
And you
is.
paid double the price for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Damn,
and people are
savage
gonna,
move.
Byron, are women cars? Well, yeah, kind of.
I think she's gonna ruin his life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he deserves it.
Yeah, I am, but why can't I come back? I wasn't rude. I said, excuse me, you gave me $3 instead of $4. But why can't I come back, and why did you throw the money? No, you just said I couldn't come back. You just said I couldn't come back. You
Goddamn
just said I
it.
was rude, and you know I wasn't rude. Was I rude? Was I rude? Was I rude?
Was
I was
rude,
not rude.
nigga?
Was I rude? Was I rude? Was I rude, sir? Was I rude? I was sitting, excuse me, I was sitting right next to you. Was I rude? Was I rude? Exactly. I wasn't rude. Call the police. Call the police. Call the police.
The black fatigue is at a crazy level. I mean, I've been fatigued from these motherfuckers for years at this point. You know, these fucking what I call weave warriors, these watermelon fucking
Weave
felons,
warriors is
these
crazy.
fried chicken connoisseurs. these EBT entrepreneurs, you know, these snicker niggers. I don't know what the fuck is going on nowadays. This is starting to get ridiculous. This is why when you're around the blacks, you can't relax. It's like, look at everyone here, how uncomfortable they are. They're like, oh my God, she's over here recording me, asking me this question.
Yeah.
Clearly, I lose my job no matter how I answer this. That's why they're all taking the Fifth Amendment.
Yeah.
But deep down in the back of their mind, you know what they're all thinking.
Yeah, they're thinking, nigga.
Yep.
Nigger.
Yeah, I would say what they are.
Christ.
Yeah.
The bare minimum is being a feminist. The bare minimum is not saying slurs and calling out your friends when they engage in any sorts of bigotry. The bare minimum is being a, if he wanted to, he would type of guy.
The bare minimum is using the toilet when you shit.
The bare minimum is not dodging deodorant.
The bare minimum.
Not dodging deodorant is crazy. That's fucking funny. All right, let's go.
Trump had a stroke and they are covering it up. More proof of a Trump health cover-up. I believe there's growing evidence that the White House is covering up the fact that Donald Trump has been dealing with TIA strokes and that he likely had a more significant ischemic stroke this week. Trump dies, no way MAGA believes it, right? Whether he's still alive will be a primary issue in 2028. You could imagine JD. Look, Martha, there are mysteries in this universe we can't understand. American voters have a hard time trusting the media on who is alive or dead after. Jesus. A transient ischemic attack is a short period of symptoms similar to those of a stroke. It's caused by a brief blockage of blood flow to the brain. A TIA usually lasts only a few minutes and doesn't cause long-term damage. However, a TIA may be a warning about 1 in 3 people who has a TIA will eventually have a stroke, with about half occurring within a year after the TIA. Often called a mini stroke, a TIA can serve as both a warning of a future stroke and a chance to prevent it. Transient ischemic attacks usually last a few minutes. Most symptoms disappear within an hour. Rarely, symptoms may last up to 24 hours. The symptoms of a TIA are similar to those found early in a stroke. Symptoms happen suddenly and may include weakness, numbness, or paralysis in the face, arm, or leg, typically on one side of the body, slurred speech or trouble understanding others, blindness in one or both eyes or double vision, dizziness or loss of balance or coordination. Transient ischemic stroke is similar to the cause of an ischemic stroke, which is the most common type of stroke. In an ischemic stroke, a blood clot blocks the blood supply to part of the brain. In a TIA, unlike a stroke, the blockage is brief and there's no permanent damage. The blockage that occurs during a TIA often results from a buildup of cholesterol-containing fatty deposits called plaques in an artery. This is known as arteriosclerosis. The buildup also may occur in an artery's branches that supply oxygen and nutrients to the brain. Plaques can decrease the blood flow through an artery or lead to the development of a blood clot that moves from another part of the brain or another part of the body, such as the heart, to an artery that supplies the brain, might also cause a TIA. Okay. TIAs are temporary. You'll see symptoms that resolve within 24 hours. Ischemic strokes can leave a lasting impact, but can range dramatically. Scope and severity. Precedes an ischemic stroke in about 30% of patients. In March 2024, Ron Filipkowski notes that Trump has been dragging his right leg for a while. It's something we've seen him do on and off over this past year, but not super notable on its own. Uh-oh. Is he?
Motherfucker. The first time I lose with this fucking build. Come on,
Okay,
man.
I don't see him dragging that leg at all, but I'm going to pretend I do for the memes, okay? Then in a Time magazine interview from right after the election, we see the first note of Trump's hand bruising. Once again, something people didn't think much of at the time. It comes up again during the Moscow visit from February 25th to 2025, where Caroline Leavitt repeats the lie about it being from shaking too many hands. Here's the thing.
Shaking too many
hands? The
hands?
thing that lends the most credibility to this, and it sucks because conservatives are completely and totally unable to actually see anything that is like not in their political favor. The fact that they've lied so much about his health is a little bit spooky. That's kind of spooky. Because the chronic venous shit or whatever, that should have been known, right? The doctor that assessed his health almost certainly lied about his weight, right? So the idea that they are willing to lie about things, we know they're willing to lie about things. Like the shaking hands, motherfucker. Oh my God. President Trump has bruises on his hand because he's constantly working and shaking hands all day, every day.
Shaking his dick. I was kidding.
There has been bruising, we're told, on the president's hand, which she said, and I'll get back to you on the other
President's
side.
life. So in the effort of transparency, the president wanted me to share a note from his physician with all of you today. In recent weeks, President Trump noted mild swelling in his lower legs. In keeping with routine medical care and out of an abundance of caution, This concern was thoroughly evaluated by the White House medical unit.
She's so loud.
The president underwent a comprehensive examination, including diagnostic vascular studies. Bilateral lower extremity venous Doppler ultrasounds were performed and revealed chronic venous insufficiency, a benign and common condition, particularly in individuals over the age of 70. Importantly, there was no evidence of deep vein thrombosis or arterial disease. Laboratory testing included a complete blood count, comprehensive metabolic panel, coagulation profile, D-dimer, B-type natriuretic peptide, and cardiac biomarkers. All results were within normal limits. An echocardiogram was also performed and confirmed normal cardiac structure and function. No signs of heart failure, renal impairment, or systemic illness were identified. Additionally,
Okay, Dr. Vengupta, can you unpack that for us?
Wait, she did say this, right? Am I hallucinating this?
Asked White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt what happened. She said it's from shaking hands. President Trump is a man of the people, and he meets more Americans and shakes their hands on a daily basis than any other president in history.
Okay.
We consulted with dermatologist Dr. Doris Day.
Okay. Just making sure.
I need to take
I
a
didn't
shit.
hallucinate that.
Fuck this.
The next medical event we see is the president's annual physical report. Comparing the medication list to his old reports, we notice 3 new medications. Rosuvastatin. Oh, does this mean blood thinner? The statin thing? I don't actually know. Ezetimibe. Ezetimibe? I don't know how to pronounce it. And daily aspirin. Ooh, that's a lot of cholesterol over there. Statins are cholesterol reduction drugs. Gotcha. At first, I thought this might be normal medication for managing cholesterol, and I've certainly heard of preventative aspirin use in the past, but I decided to interview some heart specialists, and I'm glad I did. There are 2 general takeaways I heard from multiple specialists. Daily aspirin is not recommended for prevention anymore. An aspirin regime is treating something. Oh, regimen, I think, not regime.
Regimen.
Ezetimibe is a second-line medication not used for regular LDL treatment. Statins like rosuvastatin will manage cholesterol alone, whereas ezetimibe will be used as a second line if the patient is at high cardiovascular risk, such as prior strokes, heart attacks, or arterial disease. Then it's used for stroke prevention. Trump's previous medical reports claim his cardiovascular health is great and is on the statin, so he shouldn't need ezetimibe. But this also brings us to the aspirin. As it turns out, aspirin hasn't been advised as a daily course prevention method for quite a while. Some old doctors may still incorrectly prescribe it as such, but qualified medical staff who keep up with literature shouldn't or wouldn't. The daily aspirin dose is now used as a blood thinner for specific lines of treatment, including in managing ischemic strokes.
Damn.
When in June we see Trump's swollen ankles, Jesus, and for the first time the White House medical team is willing to admit he's got CVI, and his bruising is related to his aspirin regimen and shaking hands regimen. They keep coming back to this claim as aspirin does indeed make bruising easier. There are 3 problems with this claim. 1, bruising is seen on both hands, not just his dominant hand. Oh. The next problem, CVI is not a sudden onset issue, and swollen ankles is an intermediate symptom. An annual physical in April would have caught CVI back then if ankles were going to be swelling, and aspirin isn't a CVI treatment. But 3rd, some of the bruising is monthly, usually around the 24th. Check the dates. It seems much more likely that the president is being monitored monthly for something, and then also occasionally getting an emergency IV as well. So what does this all mean? When a patient has had a TIA, they have temporary symptoms, but would be started on aspirin, rosuvastatin, ezetimibe. How do you say this again? Hold on.
And if that doesn't work, add a drug called ezetimibe.
Ezetimibe. To prevent future ischemic stroke, just like we see with Trump, the patient having TIAs may have temporary symptoms for 24 hours afterwards, including face drooping, leg dragging, or trouble walking in a straight line. Okay, is that true? Hold on. TIA, walking in straight line. Is that actually true? Or is this guy just yanking our chain?
Pulling the legs.
Trouble walking in a straight line. What would it just be? Loss of balance, maybe? I'm just curious how specific that walking in a straight line is. This was kind of weird. But...
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he was tired from getting off the plane. Trump, red carpet walk.
2 jets, noses pointed in toward where the two leaders will be standing. It's got to be somewhat unpleasant for Vladimir Putin, at least, to stand underneath that display of American firepower.
Maybe he hold on. Maybe like somebody's talking to him over here.
Gotta be
So he's like walking towards them,
F-22
but then he has to like course
American
correct, right? Like this has happened before, right? Wait, shit.
Yeah,
Hold on.
he's talking
Stop.
to somebody.
Okay. Wait. Okay. And then he's like course correcting, you know?
Yeah, he's talking to somebody.
Then he overcorrected, right? That happens.
That happens.
You ever like swerve into the lane next to you and you're not supposed to, and then you like course correct and you go back and you're like, oh shit. Have you ever walked next to somebody who like walks into you constantly? Has anybody ever had that experience before?
Yes.
Where you're walking next to somebody for some
I had
reason
a
they just keep like they
girlfriend
kind of like
that did
always
that all the
slightly
time.
walk into you. Why do some people do that? I can't tell if it's an intentional thing or not. It's like if you stand near a big dog and they start leaning on you. Anyway. Patients who experience very mild strokes that are not TIA, such as, I feel like this is too, I don't know how you would describe this sound, boxy?
You don't even have a. Why would you?
I don't know how to
that?
EQ a
That
mic.
makes
I'm just
sense.
following EOG instructions. I feel like this has, it's too tinny or yellowy. It's like it's not very warm. Somebody, he's fixing it. Okay. Patients who experience very mild strokes that are not TIA, such as a Lucinar stroke or a minor ischemic stroke, may have persistent but barely noticeable symptoms causing drooping of the lip, eyelid, and eyebrow, which would be on the same side of a leg dragging symptom. Uh-oh.
Oh yeah. I see it.
If a patient under White House level medical care was seen having a stroke, they'd be scanned to rule out a hemorrhagic with the White House portable MRI, and then they could receive Alteplase, a clot-busting peripheral IV, often given in the hand for elderly patients. This was my assumption, just because my grandma, when she was like in and out of the hospital so much, I feel like she always had a lot of bruising here because the IVs here would always be, I don't know why, but they would always just give her hands were always so up here. Same thing with my grandpa's as well, actually. If that patient was on aspirin for cardio risk management and or potential calcium blockers, we'd expect bruising of the hands and swelling of the ankles. If they had a mild ischemic stroke, we'd expect the patient to be on bed rest for 24 to 48 hours, by 2 to 3 days, able to take small or assisted steps, and the patient may have facial droop, flatter facial creases, or their mouth agape due to facial muscle weakness. Okay, but this is just a picture in a video. Give me the video this is from. I need the video that this is from. It's a pic? Okay, well, he could be in the middle of saying something. Hi, hey, I love you. Right, or something, right? Even though they could walk at this time, speech and complex motor skills may still be recovering. And we notice that Trump has oddly kept the press pool very far back from the White House and hasn't allowed them on the golf course. We also noticed that he was dressed the same as the last time he went golfing with Kai, and that MAGA influencers were given an old picture to circulate from January and his other golfing picture from June 27th. That was kind of weird. Those same influencers were circulating a video of him in the same outfit, but that one came from June 29th this year. Oh, this thing. Oh, this was the older video. So some people were circulating this? The video was posted on June 29th. Oh no, wait, there's a guy saying that other people were doing it. I don't know if other conservative influencers are doing it. The next picture of him from today, from afar with continued face droop. Well, that could just be his... Dude, he's got that throat thrissy. Oh my God. Jesus. Popping a rager thinking about that one. My God. He once again spoke with no reporters before going golfing, and both times reporters were confined to the tennis court out of view of his course instead of letting them take pictures like normal. I feel like that's the weirdest thing because he's so hungry for press and media attention. Like he's always on that shit so much. None of this even gets into the other weird events this week, of Vance being ready to take over, or his social posts seeming like they were written by interns. But the motive is clear. They know Vance does not have the same hold over the base of the party, nor the Republican Congress. If Vance was president, the admin would get far more pushback Under a normal administration, a president having repeated TIAs wouldn't be removed from office, but even a moderate ischemic is likely to impact mental faculties and merit the 25th Amendment being invoked. Vance and Miller know that their federal power consolidation requires continued implementation leading up to the midterms, and Trump's own ego will mean he never lets go willingly. So unless the White House can provide a transparent explanation of his health that better fits these circumstances, I'm forced to conclude that they are lying to the American people and hiding that Trump had a stroke. It's time for the press to push on this and get clarity. Press X to doubt. And then his follow-up. More proof of a Trump health cover-up. Trump leaves White House again this morning, mouth agape, not allowed to speak with reporters, and it gets weirder. Like full-on AI gaslighting kind of weird. He once again goes golfing at his club, and reporters are confined to the tennis court area, not allowed to speak to Trump, and not allowed to see him golfing. Yikes. His team posts this picture with close friend and radio host John Fredericks. After days of outdated pictures, we finally get something that seems current, but something is off. Something is off. Can we figure out what's off? Why do these people look so nervous? Why do these doctors look so concerned? Or they're not doctors, I guess. Or Secret Service maybe? Other than the weird staging, we notice that Trump's eyes are barely open, especially his right eye. This would be consistent with someone recovering from a minor stroke or a larger TIA who is recovering physically but not fully well yet. But it's also an odd smile for Trump. Large, overly toothy, and uniform. The rare times he smiles with teeth, it's smaller and larger on one side. It's not this clenched teeth full smile, and his face doesn't push back that much when he does it. Okay. But it's an odd smile for Trump. Large. Oh, we already read this. So then I thought, what about tools like FaceApp that use AI models to adjust a person's appearance? Since this isn't a press photo, we don't know it's not face edits. Here's a sample of a Trump smile image run through FaceApp's smile feature on high settings. What do you notice? No shot. When we make the change, the app squishes the face to expand the smile. Crow's feet intensify, lips furl in. Smile lines pull back, eyes become more closed, smile feels more intense / forced / unnatural. Unlike an AI that fully generates images, a face editor like FaceApp is hard to programmatically detect. There are no hidden watermarks or super obvious tells. The best method is changing the contrast in Photoshop to look for odd noise. And when you boost contrast, you'll notice some. Hard to see with Twitter's compression, but the outline around Trump's face is pixelated noise, and so do his teeth, suggesting, although not proving, touch-up. It could be lighting inconsistencies, but along with the weird smile and behavior, it does raise questions. I'm entertaining this because I think it's funny, but you should always be careful when you see people doing analysis like this. Unless the person is like an expert who really knows what they're talking about, there is a whole bunch of reason why noise can appear in certain areas that have nothing to do with an image being doctored or not. Like if you've ever ran an image through, or if you've ever seen somebody run an image through, like, is this AI or has this been edited? And it's like 72% certain it has. You should just take like 100 images from your own phone and run it through some of those, and you'll be surprised that like 40 of your pictures will come back and it'll be like, this has been highly edited, or this is AI generated. It's like, wait, what? Sometimes there are like very obvious and very reliable tells, but it's because like things have been run through like multiple compression algorithms, or because you've seen there's a reason why, but like really experienced people would tell you. But stuff like this, anytime you start seeing people circling shit and saying like, look at the compression, it could be weird. Not saying that this is not true. I would just say be careful. If there's nothing wrong with the president, then why is he not taking questions from the press? Why are they not allowed to see him golfing like usual? And why are we only getting controlled media releases? Why are all press images inconsistent with what his team puts out? We're on 7 days since he was last freely in front of the press. We'd expect a TIA or minor stroke victim to be able to walk and pose for a photo now, but perhaps still have other small tells, but be nearing the point where they can pretend nothing happened. The press are not asking any hard questions, and it's likely by midweek we'll get some simple talking from the president sitting behind the resolute desk, and they'll pretend everything is okay. The president is clearly not running the country. P.S. Q MAGA rage as the bootlickers tell me how healthy he looks, how this is obsessive, how he works so hard, and how vague whataboutism is about Biden somehow magically make Trump's health better. Wow.
All right, let's get back to it.
Oh, wait. Was this photo supposed to be from today? Is that what the White House is claiming? Hold on. Because apparently the guy who took this picture said it was yesterday. This photo was taken August 31st, 2025. Yesterday by my wife Ann on her phone at approximately 4 p.m. EST after golf and lunch at Trump National Golf Club in Sterling, Virginia. Secret Service allowed the photo at POTUS direction. Thanks and have a great day. Why are people motivated to post this stuff? Why does the public need to know right now if he's dead, sick, or fine? Does it make a difference at all? True. Who cares?
Who cares, bro?
How is he not even truthed out fake news? Oh. Weird truth here. It is very important that the drug companies justify the success of their various COVID drugs. Many people think they are a miracle that saved millions of lives. Others disagree with CDC being ripped apart over this question. I want the answer, and I want it now. I have been shown information from Pfizer and others that is extraordinary, but they never seem to show those results to the public. Why not? They go off the next hunt and let everybody... What's weird about this? It just seems like a random... Trump did not write this? How do you know? All of his tweets or truths look retarded to me. I can never tell. I have no idea. I want them to show them now to CDC and the public and clear up this mess one way or the other. That's an interesting phrase. Has he ever used one way or the other before? Or one way or another before? If you ever see me tweet out or say one way or the other, then I've definitely been replaced by a body double.
One way or another.
One way or another. One way or another, we're gonna figure this out. As opposed to one way or the other, we're gonna figure this out. That's a... Whereas, has anybody made the meme of like... I don't even know what it would be. It would be like a MAGA calling Donald Trump, and then like this truth post is on the other end of the phone.
It's really barking.
Thought you were gonna tell the kid to get rid of that fucking mutt.
John, honey, it's late. Please don't make me worry. Can we be there? Hey, Janelle. What's wrong with Wolfie? I can hear him barking. Wolfie's just fine. What are you?
If the parents are dead.
That's where the tweet goes. Wait, here he says one way or the other?
And I also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. We strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America. We need Greenland for national security and even international security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security.
Give us Greenland,
and
bro.
I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it.
Oh, he does say that.
Welcome Greenland to the United States.
He's alive. Do you see a JD presidency as more dangerous than Trump? No. I don't think he'll have the popular support to do anything, is my guess.
Can you make out what they're doing?
Wait, what's going on here? This is today?
You got another one? Let me see. Yeah, let's say in that little outhouse on the end. Oh, somebody there, right? Right now, right? Oh, there you go. You got it? You zoomed in?
Oh my god, there's body parts. Holy
Body
shit.
parts coming out of the White House. Sick.
According to that floor plan, this is the window they're throwing things out of. Wow. Just as a reminder to refresh your brain and to protect your psychology, because MAGA are going to be relentlessly assaulting you, especially you guys, okay? Because I'm such a institutional cuck. We're always supposed to trust our institutions and believe that conspiracies can't really happen. But I always qualify that by saying that, in my mind, conspiracies generally can happen involving huge issues or lots of people, because something will leak, number one. And number two, because like most people just aren't like evil. Most people in the intelligence services, most people who are police officers, most people like generally care about their fellow citizens in like in the aggregate, in the broadest sense, okay? Conspiracies involving very few people, I can believe are possible, especially about enemies, I believe are possible, but wide, like 9/11, like no shot. The issue that we're running into, though, with the Donald Trump administration is that all of those strong institutions that kind of protect us from the ultra-conspiratorial stuff, I don't even really want to say have been eroded. They've been, like, nuclear bombed by Trump. Like, he has full-on sycophantic at his disposal, and the Trump media network, all of the right-leaning MAGA alternative, all that bullshit, all of it will play ball with the Trump admin and will never, ever, ever hold him accountable at all. So we have like very fertile ground for actual conspiracy stuff to happen, and for it to be much harder than normal to detect, which is scary. But
not that scary. Let's see. Willie Mack got everything wrong about Destiny. Nick Fetish questions Trump's health.
Good evening, everybody. You're watching America First. My name is Nicholas J. Fuentes. We got a great show for you tonight. Very excited to be back here with you tonight on Monday. We have a lot to talk about, lots to get into. Big show. Lots to discuss. Big featured story. What's going on? Guys. What the Okay, we can't start like that, but seriously, what is happening? I go away for a couple of days for Labor Day. And I'm having a good time. We're having fun and enjoying my time away from you, from the super chatters, from the trolls, the troll demons that are antagonizing me. I go and clear my mind for Labor Day weekend, and it doesn't even register that for a week, we don't see Trump at all. No televised appearances, no press pool, no press conference, nothing. Radio silence. We don't hear from Trump. I believe the last time we've seen him up close and personal.
We just did hear from him, though.
In today's video, President Trump authorized a lethal strike on cartel members. And secondly, the GOP Oversight Committee just released 32,000 pages from the DOJ related to Jeffrey Epstein. Finally, the governor of Illinois is still pushing back against President Trump as National Guard troops have been staged. And all these videos will show you what both sides are saying and then give you the bottom line.
The president is going to be on offense against drug cartels and drug trafficking in the United States. It destabilizes not just the country, but the entire Caribbean basin. These particular drugs were probably headed to Trinidad or some other country in the Caribbean, at which point they just contribute to the instability these countries are facing. So the president's been very clear that he's going to use the full power of America, the full might of the United States, to take on and eradicate these drug cartels, no matter where they're operating from and no matter how long they've been able to act with impunity. Those days are over.
Yeah, as you guys can see, here's the actual footage of the U.S. forces taking out this boat here who's transporting drugs. And this is exactly what you want from your commander-in-chief, to not just say things, but actually back it up with action.
Damn, they got blown
and that's what you're seeing here on the screen. So there is the strike there. Neutralize. It's over. They're not going to their destination. Drugs are in the water. It's a wrap. And this is really good news. And I would love to see more of this because honestly, Congress has always talked tough when it came to the cartels, but they've never really done anything about it. In some cases, I actually believe they're in cahoots with the cartels in some way, shape, or form. Or at a minimum, they just tolerate them and allow them to continue to destroy the well-being of humans on this planet.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio confirming the operation, writing on X. As the president just announced moments ago, today the U.S. military conducted a lethal strike in the southern Caribbean against a drug vessel which had departed from Venezuela and was being operated by a designated narco-terrorist organization. My next guest was in the room for President Trump's news conference. That's Alabama Senator and gubernatorial candidate Tommy Tuberville. Senator, great to see you. You were in there. I'm curious if you know anything more. This is a fascinating announcement from President Trump about this strike that took place just within the last couple of hours.
Yeah, it happened pretty much real time where we were doing the press conference, and Pete Hegseth mentioned something about it, but it just goes to show you, I just heard your interview, protecting Chicago, protecting the people of this country. Well, that's what President Trump's doing. I mean, he's not going to allow Venezuela or any other country to run drugs in this country, knowing that we know that they're there and they're killing our kids in this country. So, you know, it all goes back to one thing. President Trump's a leader. Those people in Chicago, they're either corrupt, mentally ill, or stupid of what they're doing. And President Trump is going to take command and be a leader, and that's what we need in this country right now. But it was good to see something like that happen. Venezuela is a bad actor, and we need to take care of business when it comes to Venezuela.
You see, this is the exact type of decision from the president that he is not going to get credit for. You're only going to really see it on Fox News described that way. A decisive action. We took out someone that we would consider to be the enemy. In fact, he's already labeled these people terrorists. And these people are engaged in things that are negative for the well-being of humanity. So it's really good that he did this. Now, don't tell CNN that, because, you know, I got to show you the opposite side of this. They're questioning his legal authority to carry out this lethal strike. Take a look.
Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, called this a lethal strike. What more can you tell us?
I mean, this is a really significant escalation. I can't recall another time when the U.S. military conducted this kind of operation against a drug cartel operating in the Caribbean. They're operating in international waters, as the president has said. But still, you know, this is obviously part of the president's broadening campaign to go after these drug cartels, particularly Tren de Aragua, which comes from Venezuela. And according to the president, he said that, you know, early this morning on his orders, U.S. military forces conducted this kinetic strike against terrorists, he says, that were positively identified by the U.S. military. So he's suggesting that they knew who these people are, they knew they were carrying drugs to the U.S., and they took action. Now, what we don't know is exactly what kind of military asset was used to actually carry out this attack, although the president did say that 11 people on board that boat there were killed. Now, another question, of course, is just what authority was used to actually carry out this operation. The president has been saying, of course, that he has wanted to use this kind of military action and lethal strikes against cartels in the past, but it's still unclear what kind of authorization was actually provided as a legal basis to do this. And
okay, so let's just stop for a second here. Maybe she's unclear on what the legal basis is for the president to be able to do something like this. Everybody knows at this point, and we've gone over this when we had to cover the, you know, President Trump authorizing legal strikes on Iranians' nuclear facilities. The president has the ability to order strikes at any time. He does not need congressional approval because, one, he's not deploying troops on ground there. Two, it's not a declaration of war. And three, if there are soldiers in danger or there is a group that is labeled a terrorist group, he has the authority to pull the trigger. I don't think this individual who was actually reporting this story on CNN, I don't think she's up to speed on what the legal authority is. So what she's doing is truly projecting, and I'll prove it to you because even fake Tapper reminds her that it's possible the president has authority here. Take a look.
Marco Rubio, who's the national security advisor, dual hat as the Secretary of State, he said, look, the White House counsel's office, lawyers have looked into all of this, not going to get ahead of them, but suffice to say that that work was done behind the scenes. But we should also note the U.S. military right now has a ton of assets around Venezuela. More than 4,000 Marines and sailors are based there right now. So they're clearly building up a very robust military presence to do exactly this.
And it was February of this year that Secretary of State Rubio designated Tren de Aragua as a foreign terrorist organization. So, I mean, presumably the authority that the president has to go after terrorist groups might have been what he was invoking.
The question that legal experts have is that more of a sanction authority in order to limit their movements and limit their ability to do business? Does that actually provide the legal justification to take military action against them? That is still up for debate.
Okay, so we move to our second story, which is also breaking news of today. GOP Oversight Committee has just released all the subpoenaed documents from the DOJ related to Jeffrey Epstein. Bottom line up front is what? Number one, it's 30,000 pages. Number two, it's heavily redacted. And number three, it's information that everybody already knows. So unfortunately, there's no new bombshells, as they may say. But there are people that are going to be subpoenaed. We do have reaction from a couple of members of Congress, and I think it warrants our attention. Let's start here.
Bigger than I think anyone anticipated. We are obviously going to be requesting the SARS reports from Treasury and also following up on that. There's some very rich and powerful people that need to go to jail. I think everyone's been frustrated as to why that hasn't happened before. But it is very much so a possibility that Jeffrey Epstein was an intelligence asset working for our adversaries. But also, too, I think the questions that we have is how much did our own government know about it? And so there's more to follow, and I'm sure you'll be hearing from the chairman momentarily. But I do applaud the victims from coming forward because we heard from a woman who was as young as 14 years old when she was victimized multiple times by Jeffrey Epstein. So that's hard to hear.
Will you sign the discharge petition and ask the discharge petition?
I think that the files will probably be released prior. I don't know why Comer hasn't. I think that he should do it, so it wouldn't even have to come to a vote. But I mean, obviously, I've been a huge advocate, even when I was the only one in Congress calling for the release of those files. So I think I'd be happy to, yes.
Yeah, all right. So that was Representative Anna Paul Luna. I also have an update for you from Representative James Comer. And the bottom line to this, and it's been this for me since the beginning, which is, can we just get justice for the victims? I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what it's going to take. But if we're going to talk about Epstein, if you guys are going to go out here and do all this work, you better hold someone accountable in the end. Get results. That's all I really care about. And I also am not naive to the idea that people who are powerful and elite probably will not be held accountable in this particular situation. I mean, it would truly be shocking if they were. And that's unfortunate for the victims, because you can't imagine the stories that they were sharing with members of Congress, because they brought them in. They're actually supposed to hold a press conference tomorrow with Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna to speak out and to continue to demand transparency and demand more files. I don't know what else they can really demand at this point. I mean, I think everybody knows what's going on here. But anyways, here's what James Comer had to say. Take a look.
Just give a quick update. I think everyone knows who all we've subpoenaed thus far. In the initial batch, we subpoenaed 6 former attorneys general, as well as Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. We've expanded that to Alex Acosta. Acosta's coming in, I believe, September the 19th, 16th or 19th. We've got that date down. I know that we'll have a lot of questions for him with respect to an earlier Epstein prosecution that he was involved in when he was U.S. attorney. We have the documents, the initial batch that had been sent by the White House. As you know, we also subpoenaed Pam Bondi for those documents. The White House is working with us. I want to publicly thank the White House for turning over so many documents thus far. We're in the process of uploading those documents for full transparency so everyone in America can see those documents. It's as quick as we can get them uploaded, and as the speaker said, there are 34,000 pages. We're doing everything we can to get those uploaded. We want those to be public as soon as possible. And then we're going to continue to bring in more people. We learned of some additional names today. We're going to do everything we can to give the American public the transparency they seek, as well as to provide accountability in memory of the victims.
Okay, I think probably if there's anything to take away from this story is that Representative Anna Pauluna publicly stated that according to the documents she's seen, that Jeffrey Epstein is definitely some Mossad agent, or was handled by Mossad, or was connected to some type of intelligence agency. I mean, you call it whatever you want. Something is fishy there. And again, at the end of the day, I really don't care about that. Again, I care more about justice for victims. If any of you guys actually know my story, you know why that is my focus. But the other thing that's actually troubling about this entire situation is this beef between the president and Thomas Massie. And they did ask him about that. And according to Thomas Massie, he's not backing down. Take a look.
Is jobs, the economy. Those are always the big issues. But you really can't solve any of that if this place is corrupt.
What do you mean if this place is corrupt?
Well, I mean, if they're going to cover up for rich and powerful and politically connected people, which is still what is happening right now here.
Are you worried about the blowback that you're facing from the White House, from the president? He continues to attack you for taking steps like this.
Look, I got 3 billionaires right now running ads against me in Kentucky, and one of them's in Epstein's black book. So I'm not worried about it. I've already poked the hornet's nest here, and you know, once you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound. We're going to get these files released.
So now we move to our next story, and this is just this continuous situation in Chicago. Now, more Chicago leaders are coming out in opposition to what the president is trying to do. We're talking about Lori Lightfoot. She held a press conference. The lieutenant governor, she also made some wild statements I'm going to show you. And matter of fact, why don't we start with Lori Lightfoot and what she is saying this is truly all about. Take a look.
If he comes to Chicago, he's going to be in court. And he's going to be sued by the state. He's going to be sued by the city. And I believe that there will be private interests that also sue him. This is not about violent crime. And I don't think we should pretend that this manufactured crisis and his attempt to provoke people in Chicago is legitimate exercise of power. It is not.
Yeah, so as this continues to play out, I think you guys are going to notice that Democrats are like the person that's on a group project. You know, when you were in school and you had to do a group project, they're that one person on the team that wants to question everything. They would spend more time questioning everything instead of just taking action. That's who they are at this point. They want to question the person. They want to question the president's authority. They want to question his strategy. They want to question how is this going to work. They want to question whether or not it will work. And while they're spending all that time questioning, the president has already proven that when you take the National Guard and you have them support the local law enforcement, you can bring crime down in a hurry, like he did in D.C. But as I stated, not everybody agrees with me.
Of course nobody likes crime. Of course murders are bad. But this is about something much deeper. How do you do this? Whose role is it to tackle it? And who has autonomy?
So, Michael, what do you make of the mayor?
Can I push back a little bit? I mean, what people, who's saying this? You know, 2 weeks ago, I was on air on Laura Coates' show, and we aired about a 4 or 5 minute package of one of our reporters talking to residents in D.C., for example, who live in some of those very dangerous areas. Mixed race people, young and old, older people saying, you know, at my age, I have to go home before sundown because it is too dangerous. So maybe if you're talking to some milquetoast liberal who lives in Northeast D.C. or Northwest D.C. in a $2 million house,
sure, Michael,
then maybe they're
live
saying,
in Virginia,
oh, it's great.
And I live in
maybe
Washington, D.C.
But let me tell you something. There are a lot of people who live in the poor areas who do not see it the way that Lulu just described. And again, I'm not saying, Aaron, that this is a long-term fix. I acknowledge the fact that this is only temporary. You do got to increase funding. You do have to have more policing. But hell, that's pretty hypocritical coming from the other side who demonized the hell out of police for 4 years.
Yeah, so as you guys can see, their attitude is all about why,
Chicago,
and how,
what you
and
want,
who, and what.
Chicago, what
and
you
it's
need.
None of it is based on let's actually solve the problem first, and then we can figure all that out after the fact, right? And it's two schools of thought. Now, usually the people who are Ivy League educated, the people who live in nicer areas, the people who have gone to these universities and are part of the academia and they're part of the mainstream media culture, these people are not actually invested into solutions, okay? They're invested into rhetoric. That's what you're hearing from Lulu. Now, what she's going to try to do is what they all, oh, I'm just a reporter. I'm just telling you what's being reported. Yeah, why don't you actually tell us how you feel instead of beating around the bush? And it doesn't matter because Michael makes a phenomenal point.
Michael, I am a reporter. I am not the other side. I am simply saying that there was a recent poll that said 80% of the residents of this city do not agree. And that's a fact. Now, you can try and cherry pick your, who you want to talk about, but that is just the way that the people feel here. Now, I believe in a democracy, people who live in a city should have a say in what happens there.
I agree, but I agree. I'm also a strategist. I've worked on a lot of polls, and I know focus group, size, 80%. Education, ethnicity, all of that stuff matters, Lulu. It's easy to come up with a poll and say, well, this demonstrates what most people believe. You know that as well as I do.
I think at the end of the day, this is not about crime. I understand that the president and you would like to make this about crime. The bigger concern here is what this means, putting troops on the streets of American cities, troops that the governors of those cities don't want, the mayors of those cities don't want, and the people of those cities don't want.
Don't give me Paul
What does that say about the United States of America today?
Damn.
The concern, and I've worked in many of these places, is that this turns into some kind of police state, where, of course, you have safety, but you lack liberty.
Again, guys, this is why I'm telling you, if you
fuck Stunkfish, bro,
pay attention to the rhetoric. It's we worry this is going to happen. We worry that's going to happen. You know, he's doing this and he's doing that. And what you never hear out of their mouth, what should he do instead? And not only what should he do instead, what have you done to back up your solution, your recommendation, especially if you are an elected leader? You spend all your day criticizing the president, but what have you done to solve the problem? And they say, well, it's not about crime. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you think it's about. It's about what the people who are being positively impacted by this decision from the president, what do they think? How do they feel? And you could spew all the numbers you want, but if people don't feel safe and they see National Guard troops in their neighborhood, especially in the areas of crime, and they start to feel safe, it doesn't matter what you say at the end of the day. That will ring true for them.
They keep telling people you shouldn't perceive yourself to be unsafe, basically. But your feeling of being unsafe is illegitimate. And my question to you, Christian, is do you believe that Mayor Johnson wants the city to be safe? And do you believe that he has the ability to make the city safe?
I think that he honestly wants to keep the violence interruption programs funded. I think that's his top concern, keeping not-for-profits funded as opposed to actually doing the work of stopping the crime. If he stops the crime, what is the need for all of those not-for-profits that are cashing checks and paying salaries in the city for these programs?
Yeah, Pastor Brooks, I mean, as someone who works in the not-for-profit community, you've seen this money get blown year after year after year, hundreds of millions of dollars, flooding Chicago and other cities, St. Louis, Oakland, Baltimore. What do they have to show for it?
Yeah, you know, it's unfortunate that we have organizations that do not properly spend. Just like every profession, there are individuals who don't do the work. Media personalities, politicians, but there are individuals in the non-for-profit sector like Project Hood, Activists, Metropolitan Family Services, who are doing the work on the streets. So what I'm saying is, yes, we do need the National Guard, but we also need some of these organizations that are doing the work. But there's no doubt about it, there are a lot of organizations that are not handling their funds properly.
Now, why don't we settle this debate once and for all? All they should do is do a poll. And the only people that can answer that poll are people who actually live in Chicago. Do you feel Chicago has a crime problem? Yes or no? Now, me and you both know what the answer to that question is. We know majority of people who live in Chicago will say, yes, there is a crime problem. And if we ask the second question, do you believe Mayor Brandon Johnson is doing enough to crack down on crime? Majority of people are going to say no. So that's all we need to know at that point, including obviously what happened over the weekend in those numbers. And again, for the life of me, I don't understand why Democrats want to fight against keeping the American people safe. But hey, this is what the governor had to say to the people of Chicago. Take a look.
To Chicagoans, what you can do is look out for your communities and your neighbors. Know your rights. Film things that you see happening in your neighborhoods and your streets and share them with the news media. Authoritarians thrive on your silence. Be loud for America.
It doesn't lead to anything good at the end of the day. It just makes things worse. But what about the people who actually may disagree, but they find a way to work with the president? Now, of course, the DC mayor, I don't think she really had a choice in the matter because it's clear the president had authority. But it doesn't distract from the bottom line that DC has seen some of the best crime numbers in decades. Take a look.
All right, Jeanine Pirro is the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, joining us now from the White House. Good to see you. I want to start with the president announcing that D.C. is effectively a crime-free zone. Just last night, 70 more arrests, 27 were illegals, 3 more illegal gun seizures, grand total over 1,600 arrests, more than 160 illegal guns taken off the streets. The crime rate has plummeted, the murder rate has plummeted, and somehow you're getting a lot of fury from the other side on this.
It doesn't make sense, does it? No. 1,669 arrests since the surge started, since President Trump made the decision to make D.C. safe and beautiful, along with 168 guns that have been removed from the street. And that means that those guns can no longer be used to shoot, maim, or murder other individuals. Look, we know then that Washington, D.C. is one of the most violent cities in America. And the president is determined to turn this city around, and he's done so by putting together federal law enforcement partners along with the Metropolitan PD. And every day we are seeing the results of that. And what's really amazing is that last night my staff told me that it was the first night they didn't have a felon in possession. We call them FIPS, because the worst of the criminals are now aware that we're out there, that we're tracking them, that we're going to arrest them. And so if we haven't already charged them, they at least are aware of the deterrent effect of this operation.
And sometimes that's all you really need, okay? It's the appearance, it's the intimidation, okay? But again, politically, this doesn't go well for Democrats. They're not going to support it whatsoever. And I tell you guys all the time, there's a difference between what's politically right for a group and what actually happens in reality. There's a difference between theory and reality. There's a difference between what someone feels should happen versus common sense, okay? And that's what's really playing out here. But You know what? Let me get your guys' comments below to these stories. First, starting with the big one here, that the president authorized a lethal strike on cartel members near Venezuela. Again, I love when he makes decisions like this. I think cartel members should definitely be held accountable at every turn. Whenever we have an opportunity to take them out, we absolutely should do it. Someone's got to do it for once and for all. Let me know if you guys agree with the decision from the president, and also share your thoughts about how CNN is questioning his authority surrounding that move. And then what about the Epstein file release? No bombshell, no shocking update, of course. 32,000 pages of heavily redacted information that leads to zero new conclusions. So I think that's really unfortunate, but hey, we'll see how these subpoenas go, right? And then finally, what is your take on this whole crime situation in Chicago? We've been talking about it every single day, and the message is still the same. The American people deserve to be safe, especially when they're paying taxes. You'd think that's what the mayor would be focused on, but he's not. And unfortunately, the people who are going to get hurt the most are the people of Chicago. Let me know what your thoughts are about everything we discussed in this video in the comments section below. Now, earlier, President Trump made a bold announcement. He is moving Spacecom from Colorado to Alabama. But that's not the big one. The big one is he's...
Okay. Oh, what's the Roger Jackson update? I want to know. Oh, wrong fucking keyboard. Raja Jackson.
This is absolutely bonkers. I mean, can this kid get locked up already? Now, Rampage Jackson took to Instagram because he's big mad that people are calling for his son to be arrested. And in this entire post that he put out, it was essentially a woe is me. Let me display my victim card. Rather than also, by the way, playing off the clout of his son's crime. Let me put that very clearly. His son committed a heinous crime on camera, and his dad says he's sick of people talking about it, but he doesn't seem to mind the clout that his Instagram posts and his live streams bring when he talks about it. He doesn't seem to mind that. But when white guys talk about it on the internet, then he gets pissed, because that's really what this is about. We're going to look at his post. By the way, again, in case you missed it, Raja Jackson belongs in prison for attempting to take the life of another wrestler. And now they've put out this insane excuse trying to again blame Stu for the attack that he had to endure from this man's son's animalistic behavior. Let's get into the story. By the way, thanks everyone who picked up some of our coffee yesterday. We have our full selection available on Amazon Prime, which means you get free next day shipping. Make sure you pick up the tangerine, the blueberry cobbler, the strawberry cobbler, or the brand new summer flavors that are in Tiger's Blood and Blackberry Cream. Our 5-pound bags are in stock. Everything's shipping free Prime. Give something a try. We have Colombian roast, Ethiopian roast, dark roast, all sorts of stuff. So check it out at the link in the description. Quentin Rampage Jackson says he's sick of being quiet about his son Raja's brutal attack on Stu. I'm a father first. Are you, though? Because what I saw was you gassing up your son on the phone about 5 minutes before he committed that crime, saying that he was light in the loafers because he got beat up by some men in some tights. I always see you ragging on your son, gassing him up, insulting him, belittling him. That's not fatherly behavior. It's also not fatherly behavior to take to Instagram and say, but people are being racist to us on the internet. Ooh. I guess that cancels out the brutal crime your son committed and still hasn't been arrested. Although it does look like the walls are closing in there because the state has taken over. I made a video yesterday talking about how the state has taken over the investigation from LAPD so that they can actually get this thing moving. Because the LAPD had been clearly dragging their feet. Now it has been 7, 8, 9, almost 10 days since the crime that will be the slam dunk guilty verdict of a lifetime with 0 charges.
Slam dunk. Why you gotta
Former
say
UFC
slam
star Quentin Rampage Jackson says that backlash against his son Raja has simply gone too far. He tried to take another man's life. How far are we allowed to take it? By the way, nobody would be talking about him anymore. Nobody would be talking about him anymore if the police did their job.
Right.
My biggest criticism now, a week later, is the insane garbage job the LAPD has done, or the obvious cover-up that they've partaken in. I don't care about your son's dumb mistake. I'm glad that Stu is alive and well, but at some point, he's got to pay the piper. Jackson took to Instagram with a lengthy message in defense of his 25-year-old son, Raja, who fans are calling for legal action after he brutally attacked Stu, 39, in an independent wrestling event on August 23rd. Alongside a screenshot of a news post reporting that Raja had been booked for an event despite a brutal attack on Psycho Stu. Why do I keep calling him Sicko? Sorry, Psycho Stu. The former UFC star said he's sick of being quiet, letting all the low IQ people fall for clickbait. Bruh. You don't need an IQ to look at that video and see that that he committed a terrible crime. Like, you get that, right? You know? Like, you get that. You get that it's a crime that any idiot can look. I mean, even someone who's low IQ. Yes, my son took things too far, and I'm pissed about him being a POS and the way he handled it. Okay, good start. Good. You're back on track here. But if Psycho Stu wasn't drunk and wouldn't have hit my son over the head with a real beer can while he was live streaming on his own stream, then Knox wouldn't have felt like they had to make things right by letting Raja get back in the ring. Are you joking? So, first of all, I don't know if it was a real beer can or not. But he obviously didn't do any damage to Raja. He did it like an actual an actual wrestler. Yes, my son took things too far, he said. Oh, I got to that. Here. Jackson said if his son would have went to the police when the beer can incident happened, they could have had the whole event shut down, and he could have sued Smith. Oh, well, thank you, Raja. So thank you, Raja, for being a hero. Thank you, Raja. You are heroic for letting the event go on and not calling the police. Case closed. Any future attempts to take somebody's life should be disavowed. You know? Yeah, let's forget about the whole thing. But my son is not as smart as I'd like him to be, he continued, revealing that his family is now receiving racist threats because of all the misinformation being posted so content creators can get paid from viewers. My dude, you are a content creator. You signed a big deal with Kick.
Wow.
Right? You signed a big deal with Kick. You yourself are a content creator. So you're doing the same thing. You know people are tuning into your live stream because they want to get the dirt on Raja, and you, like the day after the attack, you were live streaming with some whores at a bowling alley. He complained that people actually think my son snuck into the ring. Well, I've never reported that, so I don't know. That part of it seemed like staged. And fought Smith without permission to be there, telling readers to get smart in the post. Jackson then claimed the entire event was staged, but Raja took it too far. The very first punch was too far. He was never supposed to punch him in the face. He added that he only shook his hand and accepted Psycho Sue's drunken apology because they said he could get a storyline. According to the former UFC star, his son was told that he could F him up. Really? By who? Who said that? The guy they fired who isn't a boss, who's just a performer? I have witnesses that say this isn't the first time Psycho Stu has done some drunk stuff backstage to a fan.
Yeah.
Jackson went on to defend his son against claims he attacked an innocent military vet with PTSD. As fans pointed out, the Stewart has spoken publicly about how wrestling helped him overcome his trauma and in the military, and added, like, my son knew everything about the man that came up behind him and hit him and then asked him to sell it. That's fair. That's fair. I think, it's probably not fair to expect Raja to know who this random, local wrestler was and his history.
Right.
That's fair.
Fuck him.
I have other kids to protect, and I don't take kindly to threats, Jackson continued, adding that he's not scared of prison or dying for his kids. And calling me names will hurt my feelings. Well, you sure seem hurt about it. My son should face the consequences for going too far. He knows better. That's why he didn't tell me anything about the storyline, Jackson said. What? He wanted to say that Smith is lucky he wasn't there when he hit my son over the head with a beer can that the day after he had a concussion from sparring the day before. Again, Stu wouldn't have known that. I wouldn't have cared if a bunch of pro wrestlers would have jumped me. I'm a father first, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. He added, let's all learn a lesson. Keep your dang hands to yourself. If you get paid to do fake fighting, don't disrespect people that do ish for real. Now I put myself in this stuff. DM me now. Well, Rampage, I'd love to have you on the show to correct literally anything I've said incorrect about this. I don't think I've reported anything incorrectly on this story. Are other people out there? Maybe are other people he's referring to? I don't know, but I mean, certainly he's seen my videos. They have 200,000-300,000 views. I'm, doing some of the closest coverage of this. I'm sure he's seen them. So I don't know if he has a problem with my videos or it's other person's videos, but nothing I've reported has not. By the way, Rampage doesn't owe me any appearance. I'm just saying he's welcome to come on and correct anything I've gotten wrong. Happy to. The incident between Raja and Smith happened Saturday, August 23rd. In the disturbing video, Raja was seen, by the way, on Sunday, August 24th. Smith's brother said he was currently stable, but in critical care. Let's see how this went. Oh, he posted this. He posted two different things. This. Not justifying anything. I'm going against my attorney's advice by talking about it, but people seem to think Raja wasn't allowed in the ring. Hopefully the threats to my family members will stop after this. I don't know who's threatening him. I don't know who would be doing that. This video is still this video is still only an edited clip to stop some of the misinformation. Raja is still a POS for what he did, but he's not the only person who handled this wrong. But Raja is the only one I'm disappointed in the situation. Psycho Stu didn't deserve what happened to him. Everybody that knows me knows how much I love and respect I have for our military and our veterans. Raja had no idea Psycho Stu was or that he had PTSD. I agree with that. I would hope that if my son knew that, he would have handled things differently. I would have. This part is for the racist people only. You know who you are. I'm talking to all different. Oh, he's still going on. Look at this situation as two men getting themselves involved in something stupid that could have been avoided. At the end of the day, a man was hurt. Let's hope we can move on and learn from this. Everyone gets the punishment that they deserve. Even my son. Nobody is above the law. I mean, that's definitely a better post. That's definitely a better post than this one, right? This one, he got absolutely cooked in the replies, thankfully. If we go... Oh, did he turn them off now? Ooh. They were showing up for me before.
Oh, shit.
Here we go. Raja might see consequences of his actions. Shocker. Nah, your kid deserves time. Way too far. I love you, Rampage, but Raja deserves jail time. All this stuff. You say father first, but where was the parenting when he rang you and you were on stream winding him up and fueling his crash out? Raja is a product of your parenting, and it's all over the internet for the world to see. Nah, bro. Sorry, but no. Levels to morality. Stu was wrong, but it was physically harmless and caused 0 injury. Raja nearly killed the man. And here's another MMA fighter. You know, other MMA fighter. Victim card. Yeah, the whole thing is pathetic. You know, stop coping. Turn your son in. Well, he has to be charged first. We'll see. We'll see. I hope that he gets his time and we can move on.
Red, baby. Come on.
Then he posts him rizzing up whores, apparently.
Never doubt me, baby.
The whole thing, the guy needs to go to jail now, sooner than later. I hope you were informed and enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Never doubt me, brother. Let's see.
Someone put you in a garbage can? Yeah, it was this kid at my taekwondo. He was way older. And my mum spoke to him about me going into school because he was at the same school. And he said, oh, don't worry, you know. He's like, oh, you're coming to my school. And my mum was saying, oh, he's going to your school, you know. And he was like, oh, what's up? So you're going to be at school with me then? That's going to be sick, man. I'll take care of you. Don't worry. First day, he puts me in a toilet. Not in a toilet, in a bin. Lifts me up, puts me in a bin. The second he sets eyes on me. He literally said out loud in front of us and my mum that he was going to take care of me because I thought we were cool. Puts me in a bin. First day. Then I get out of the bin. Then after school, I catch up to him and I said, what the fuck was going on? Why did you do that? And then he said, yeah, I swear to God, he said, I'm bullying you so no one else will. They need to know that you're mine. He was saying shit like that to me. I'm not even joking. I was walking next to him on the way home for a second. And he was saying shit like,
that's hilarious.
They need to know that you're mine to bully. And trust me, if I do this to you, no one's going to bully you at school. He was in the oldest year, yeah? And I was questioning him, and he was like, no, trust me. Like, they're going to, like, they don't want to, like, risk getting in my, like, messing up my schedule.
That's hilarious, dude.
I never spoke to him again, bro. Fucking weirdo.
That's hilarious, bro.
Fucking weird guy, bro. Never spoke to him again, straight up.
That's
never
fucking funny.
I explained everything. I know. No, he never did anything again after that, but he never spoke to me again. And I never spoke to him again. Fucking weirdo, bro.
I would have.
He literally was saying that shit to me. I don't know if he was joking in front of his friend, but he was saying that to me. I was a little kid. He was saying, you need to know. It's not a fake story. It's not a fake story. He genuinely said that.
Yo, we're in the comment section, bro.
I'm doing this so other people won't do it. He's probably joking to me, but when I was a kid, I was like, what the fuck have I signed up for at the secondary school? I was shitting my pants, but it never happened again. Oh. Impression of Kayla squeezing out a poo and kidney stone.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Thinking of two, some shit like that.
That's hilarious.
Impression of Cartman making fun of Jubilee for stinking.
Well, screw you guys, I'm going home. This guy fucking stinks.
Thank you for the two, something like that. Don't move. Stop saying that in chat. Bro, stop. Does anyone remember the piano keys? That's where I base my Kayla Harrison impression from. You guys know about the piano keys in music class? When you used to press the certain button that made them make noises. And there was like a drum noise. There was the 808. There was some other noises. There was a cat meowing. There was a cricket going. And then one of them was hoo 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 hoo. Thank you for the £2. Impression of Habib showing Umar how to make his wife happy. Brother, you're rushing her. She never going to enjoy it like this. What we go through, brother? First of all, you give carrot. Then next day you give another carrot. Then you fuck. Come on. What don't you get, brother? It's like you never understand how to raise goat. Why did Dennis get a sub in a boxing match? Am I retarded? Yeah. It wasn't a boxing match. He was facing a boxer who is just like a recreational up-and-coming influencer boxer guy. But he just subbed him immediately, you know what I'm saying? Thank you for the membership, FlyGuy18. Appreciate you. Impression of Kayla birthing 50-pound infant without meds. All right, somebody pull my fucking finger. Out comes a 50-pound infant baby. What's up, Doc? Pull my fucking finger and brace yourself.
Oh my god.
That's how Kayla's gonna give birth.
That's hilarious,
Pull my
dog.
finger.
That's hilarious.
Thank you for the $2. Impression of Kayla pooping out Hap Chandler. All right. We're not doing that one. I did used to think that when I was in primary school, though. Someone told me that.
Oh, God damn it,
I
I have
learned
pork
otherwise
guns.
eventually.
Motherfucker.
That Halloween thing is a mad good idea. I think it would be a decent little Halloween special, yeah. Chandler convincing the police to let him adopt Raja instead of taking him to prison.
Ooh, you know you're scared.
Come on, give him another chance, officer. Come on. This is just kind of what they do. I don't know what you would say. Impression of Kayla versus Kayla Harris in the movie 300. Kayla Harrison, all right. In the movie 300, I don't know what to do with this 300 fucking video. What do you want from that? That we will fight in the shade.
That we shall fight in the
How
shade.
do women make it in our ranks?
Then we shall fight in the shade.
Randomly, she reveals herself. Kayla! What is your profession? Oh! Oh! Thank you for the $2, sorry. Impression of Yoel crashing. Oh, sorry. I'm just a messenger. You would never kill a messenger, madam, would you? Madam. It is ma'am! Bang! Kicks in down the fucking well. Come on, sir. You wouldn't kill a messenger, would you, sir? Sir. It is ma'am! Bang! Straight down the hole, dude.
Straight down the pipe.
What a great scene. it's not a woman, okay. Sorry. Impression of Yoel crashing his car and Kayla comes out. How? Comes out of what?
Hey! You move out the road, people!
I don't know. Thank you for the 2. And then Kayla comes out. Hey!
Nice.
What's up? Just here lifting your car. Don't mind me. I don't know.
Get
Impression of
to
Joe
it,
Rogan saying
brother.
unbelievable.
He doesn't even fucking train.
About Jamie Pickett, yeah.
He didn't even fucking train.
Thank you for the $2.
Good job.
Impression of Dana taking nudes with Nintendo DS camera. All right, guys, have a look at this. Come on. Look at those 7 pixels. They're pretty hot, right? Impression of Saruman creating the first Kayla Harrison. Who do you serve? ATT. Thank you for the $2. I don't know. Impression of Nate Diaz missing a bus.
Hold up. Wait, hold up. That's what I fucking... This fucking bullshit. Said it was in 2 fucking minutes.
Impression of BJ Penn calling out his kids. Look at the clones. Look at them. Bunch of fucking clones. Would you believe it? Thank you for the 2. Impression of Kayla trying to spread cold butter on bread.
Oh, God.
Kayla trying to spread cold butter on bread.
That's hilarious.
All right, let me just get this butter on this bread. I don't know how angry she would get, but something like that. Impression of Dana being told he is eating poo. What? Yeah, all right, in a minute. I'm eating poo? I don't know. Thank you for the 2. I can't do it. Did you see Rampage's big statement 7 hours ago? Yeah, he just yapped in a massive long rant about fucking nothing.
Yeah.
You're looking for death threats. I know. I look for them as well, and I find them. You found 1 comment with no likes. Well done, man. What a victim you are. Like, what is going on? Just got here. Thoughts on Rampage's IG post? I could read it on stream if you want.
Do it.
I'll get your clips for you. Your $2 for your clip, so you can profit $5. You guys are flipping me like some fucking old shoes, mate. I don't like it. Everyone else feel like that as well. Some of the donos these days. Flipping me like some fucking Pokemon cards.
Oh, yeah, bro.
At a fucking garage sale. Give me $2, get me to speak on something. They get their $10 out of the TikTok they're gonna make.
Hey, fuck it, bro.
Apparently I'm pretty viral on there and I ain't got a fucking account. Rampage is fucking sweet. What did he say? Dude, it's so much text though, I didn't even read it. He had a long yap sesh, didn't he?
Yap sesh.
Thank you for the $2. We want your goo, Guru. All right, enough. What did Rampage say? I mean, Jesus Christ. People defending him in the comments. Just all of his mates that make a bag off of you, Rampage. I don't know. Not justifying anything. I'm going against my attorney's advice by talking about it. Did your attorney advise you to go bowling with whores the day afterwards and talk to donos about it?
Give me Lugia.
I don't know if that was attorney's advice, but yeah. People think Raja wasn't allowed in the ring. Just useless bullshit. Ain't reading the rest. No one thinks he wasn't allowed in the ring. End of. Thank you for the 2. We're all very aware and it's still bad. I'm not even reading the rest of it, mate. Dumbass. Thank you for the 2. He's dope. I don't care. Good for him. He's defending his son in a retarded way. Done with it.
I need Lugia.
Back to MMA. We got UFC Paris this weekend anyway. Ain't got time for bums. Thoughts on Rampage taking 0 accountability? I'm done with him, man. He can be a deadbeat if he wants and hang around whores and Neon for a 24-hour stream. I'm just going to focus on MMA content now. But yeah, it is bad. He's coping very badly with it. But I like Rampage, and I hate that this is ruining my image of him. Impression of Tom doing his own research on Uncle H. Whoa, what's going on here, mate? It turns out there was many reasons why he kicked off. Loads of reasons that we weren't told about at all. What were that group of people doing to Germany before he all kicked off?
Son of a bitch.
That's crazy. Impression of Gary doing a right-wing rant about Dublin. Oh, no. And let me tell you something. Us Irish have fought to remain a fucking majority of our land for thousands of years. And we've fended off the English, and now look at us. One generation of women voting, and gays being allowed in the streets, and it's fucking lost. Dublin's fucking lost. It's over for us. Thousands of years of fighting.
Give me Lugia,
and one generation of fucking gay politics, and boom, we're cooked. There you go.
I need Lugia.
Thank you for the $10. Is it crazy to say O'Malley could beat Haggerty if they had a striking match in the octagon? I feel like Sean would get him because of better distance control, boxing, footwork, kicking defense.
Give me Lugia, please. Nice.
Bro, do you know what Haggerty would do to Sean O'Malley in a pure striking match?
Come on. Give me Lugia. Come on. Lugia.
I don't think you understand, the
Lugia,
intensity of Haggerty compared to Sean. Bro, he'd break his fucking ribs, you know.
Let's go.
And I'm being real. And that's horrible to hear. And I know, but in an MMA fight, if Sean mixed it up, he would beat him for sure. But if Haggerty knew he had no worries of being grappled against or taken down, brother, you know he'd break his ribs with kicks, like, over and over again. And his shins. Yeah, he'd blitz straight through his shins with low kicks.
Yeah, brother.
Sorry. I don't know if you've seen any Haggerty fights. You probably haven't. Thoughts on Alex Jones saying you're building an army? Don't get me wrong. O'Malley could have a chance. You know what I mean? You could have a chance of winning. Anything can happen. But if you think, no, in a pure striking match, Haggerty would beat his ass. I get your point, but Haggerty fights the Muay Thai way. If you hit me, I hit you with little movement. In an octagon, not a ring where Sean has space to move, Haggerty could struggle getting to him.
What the fuck? Why'd you put
I'm done with you,
I
man.
guess?
I'm done with you.
Nice, killed.
I'm done with you now. There's not more space to move in an octagon. There might be some minimal way of doing it, but no, man. In a pure striking match, any fucking format you could possibly think of, Haggerty fucks up Sean O'Malley. At least 7 times out of 10. Like, I don't... What are you talking about, man? Stop like doubling down on this take. You're giving $10 for this. Why? Oh no, dude, feels bad, man. Robert Whittaker says winning the UFC title is a pipe dream at this point in his career. The belt is like a pipe dream at the moment. After losing to RDR, it's another loss. It pushes me back much further than I want to be from the title. Right now, my trajectory has kind of changed.
You got Cyrus.
I've got a few fights left. I want to enjoy the journey. He's getting chinned in his knocks. I want to enjoy the fights. I want my family to be a part of that. I'm not
No
shutting any doors, but I
way.
understand the work I've got ahead of me. Okay, cool. There's some redeeming sentence
Oh,
at the end.
he got
That
lucky.
sounds like a KO loss in his
Dang. Lucky.
Hot take, but pound for pound striking, Zabit is better
He
than
got
Ilya.
so lucky with that. He got so lucky.
Thank you for the
with
$5. Yeah, dude, that guy that
Fuck this
couldn't even
guy.
finish or drop once, Kyle Bokniak. Yeah, he's better than Ilya Topuria at striking, man.
You got fucking so lucky.
Yeah,
with
he
that
span
one.
a couple times in a fight once.
Yeah,
Oh.
lucky.
Oh, God, yeah, he threw a spinning kick once, guys. That makes him better at striking. Oh, let me tell you. Couldn't even drop Bokniak once. Are you mad? Shut up. You got more criticism for calling Raja an animal than he did for attempted murder. I know, people have been sending me it all day, bro. All day today, people have been sending me. You see this is popping up on TikTok of you doing this and you saying this, and I don't care, man. Turns out TikTok's a bunch of fucking F words, dude. Who cares? Thank you for the 5. Shiver me timbers, dude. TikTok's after me. Whoa! Look out, dude. The TikTokers are onto me, dude.
Oh,
Whoa!
look here.
Shiver me timbers, guys. I'll be looking over my shoulder at night. Why does Reddit hate you so much? Oh no, Reddit. Oh no! Dude, Reddit and TikTok are... Dude, do they know where...
Alright. Oh, yeah, I saw that. What was this about? Let's do it.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and a massive shakeup at InfoWars as probably the second most notable. I mean, obviously everyone knows Alex, but the second longest running host on the show that most people know, Owen Schroyer, has either been fired, depending on who you listen to, or has walked out on InfoWars and sharing his grievances in a roughly 5.5 hour live stream, but most of it was just at the beginning. I do want to say I'm covering this because, well, it makes me sad. I like Owen and I like Alex. I've had both of these men on my shows, and they're both welcome back anytime. And I think that everyone online is rushing to pick a side here, but I think that this could probably just be a good thing for both guys. Owen revealed some more context as to why he left, and I think that that's probably worth talking about. He had, talked about he hadn't gotten a raise since 2018, but he understood because of the lawsuits. I understand all that too, but also in Owen's defense, life happens. And yes, you can both say that you understand, hey, they're trying to destroy, Alex. He doesn't have extra money for me. But you can also say that, well, the cost of living since 2018 and 2025 has certainly gone up. And, that makes things harder. And he also shared some creative differences. Of course, the left is celebrating this, like he was fired and everything's falling apart. But I happen to think that both men can come out of this stronger. Owen can go out, build his own show, which I'm going to talk about that. He wants to build his own radio broadcast, wants to do his own thing. And Alex can, bring up another young talent. I think Owen was probably as big as he was ever going to get on Alex on the InfoWars network. And so it makes sense for him to move on too. Now the left is, of course, licking their chops. Alex Jones dumped InfoWars host for being too anti-Trump. Now, this is something that Owen literally did say happened. Now, we don't know because Alex did not confirm or deny that yet, but he did allude to it multiple times. Mega conspiracy theorist Alex Jones has dumped far-right protege Owen Schroyer from his InfoWars media empire, brutally claiming he was too anti-Trump. The right-wing broadcaster admitted he walked out mid-show last Thursday after reoccurring clashes with Jones. Schroyer, now former host of The War Room, spent 60 days in jail. Don't care. Alex was disrupting the show, Schroyer said on Rumble late on Monday. It just didn't go well. I reached my point of no return, so I walked out of the studio. I felt powerless in that moment. The only power I had was to walk off. It was a little upsetting that Alex went on to say I had a family emergency because there was no family emergency. Again, I understand both sides of this. Alex probably was just trying to cover for Owen and say, oh, he had to go, so he had some sort of thing. Owen said, well, that created some problems because his family was calling him saying what's going on. I understand both sides here. I had a co-host once fall asleep during a live stream, and I did the best I could to cover for them too. And it's just what you do.
What the fuck
Schroyer
is
said
going
he
on?
wanted to announce his departure on InfoWars so he could finish positively and directly address.
Every fucking time I do Mars, they get their fucking card. It's either Cyrus or Red. It's crazy. It's happened 5 times now.
Audience about the decision. Now look, this part here I want Alex to see, hopefully. You have 2 big personalities here, 2 alpha personalities, and Owen Schroyer and Alex Jones. Basically, this situation has played out a million times before. I want to leave. Fine, go. You can't quit. I quit. You can't quit. You're fired. This kind of stuff happens all the time between A-type personalities. And I'm sure Owen said, hey, I want to give a goodbye to my War Room audience. And then Alex Jones, in the heat of the moment, basically said, nah, dog,
get the fuck out.
You walked out on the show, you're done. I understand both sides, but I am hoping that Alex and Owen can do this for the viewers. Alex, I'm asking you, hopefully, to reconsider not allowing him to say goodbye to his audience. I mean, he's been with InfoWars for 8 years. He's been hosting that show for just under 8 years. And I think it would be good for the audience to see you two kind of make up and, support each other in your missions. I didn't see, obviously I couldn't watch the entire 5-hour live stream, but I thought Owen was pretty respectful. He obviously had a few grievances that was, he tried to downplay, but were pretty obvious. He was pretty obviously upset that, he hadn't even gotten a cost of living raise in, what did he say, 7 or 8 years. He was upset that Jones was interrupting his show. He was upset that Jones was essentially saying or complaining about his positions. And I actually, as a human and somebody who's been an employee, I think everyone can understand that. And I also understand Alex's position where he's like, yo, you quit, man. Get your stuff and go. But I'm hoping that Alex and him, cooler heads, can prevail and he can come back and do that. Schroyer said he wanted to announce his departure so he could finish positively and directly address his audience about the decision. He didn't express any interest in that. Schroyer said of Jones, he told me he didn't need me, and good luck. I will not be on InfoWars. I don't know if ever again. I was left with no choice, but this is not how I wanted it to be. I did not want it to go this way. I tried everything, so it wouldn't go this way. The host also revealed personal criticism Jones had towards him, including questioning his loyalty to Donald Trump. Alex is not easy to work for, and that's fine. That's okay, Schroyer said. He says I'm too negative. I'm pessimistic. I'm too anti-Trump. I said, okay, I'll just take some time off. I'll disappear. If Alex thinks I'm too negative, maybe he's right. Schroyer said he had a break and came back more positive, but problems with Jones soon flared up again. The same issues I had started up immediately as soon as I came back. Imagine someone staring over your back 24/7 every single day that I came back. It was either a guest I had, or I was told I had to have on last minute, or him coming into the studio. He wants me to cover this or cover that. I have to host his show for him because he's not in. There's nothing consistent for me. I couldn't do what I wanted to do.
Yeah, it's just not enough pay.
Look, Owen's 40 years old, man. He wants to go build his own thing. I totally respect that.
Yeah.
And, he's got to go out there. I saw he started to give Send Go to help fund a move and a new studio. It raised almost $16,000 already. Oh my gosh, that's another $1,000. So $16,700 already. And I hope it raises a bunch because, you don't have to agree with basically everything that Owen says. I think he's a valuable voice in the community. He's always treated me with respect. He's, again, come on my show. Alex has come on my show. I like both of those guys. I don't have anything against either one of them. Harrison Smith saying Owen quit apparently. And then you have this misfit Patriot guy who's kind of a dork. He was fired. Alex told him not to come back after he walked off set. We don't necessarily know that. I think with situations like this is probably something that's been bubbling up for years, maybe longer. And there's really no... You look, I like Owen. I like Alex. I wish him the best. Hey, as soon as he sets up his own show, not that he needs this, but he's 100%. Like, I'll have him on my show. I'll help, push people towards his show, just like I do for Alex. People say I'm disappointed in how he's handling this. Asking people to support him after Alex gave him a platform. I disagree with that. He walked away from a salary. He's going to need money. He's going to need support. I don't have any problem with him doing that at all. Too much panicking for InfoWars audience. Hopefully he can find his roots again. The War Room was great. Then Trump got elected and it turned into Trump bad. Israel 24/7. I don't know, because Owen, his show, I believe, overlaps mine. I don't think... I think Owen should go do his own thing. And I can't imagine what it would be like if, Rumble kept coming into my live stream and say, you have to host this person, you have to host that person. We don't like what you're saying. If all of that is true, right? If all of that is true. Says, he hears and says, that sucks, bro, but you'll kick, butt. End of an era, best is yet to come. It seems, obviously, Owen has a huge fandom.
Nice.
Nina says, best of luck to you. Too bad Alex couldn't be mature enough to let it end on a high note. I don't know. I don't want the audience to get divided over this. The left is already saying, InfoWars host quits after being branded too anti-Trump. I mean, there's a lot to criticize Trump on. There's, our over connection to certain foreign nations. Or Owen talked about that. And I respect that. I think that's something that should be talked about. I haven't seen if Owen... I wanted to see if Owen did, any major... no, just basically, his why I'm leaving thing. The clip about him walking off, I never saw that. He admitted that today. He said that today. But, look, Owen's done incredible work. I think that he was screwed over on J6. He says, here's one thing. Here's a clip I'll share. It's about 2 minutes long.
Perfectly clear to Alex an hour ago. Now, I wanted to meet with Alex in the office tomorrow, and I told him that. I told him that last week after I left the studio. He texted me, and I said, Alex, let's talk next week. I said, I don't want to talk about it now. I'm done for the week. Let's talk next week.
Fair.
We communicated a little over the weekend, and then today I said, let's meet. Let's have a meeting tomorrow before your show, whenever you want. Let's meet tomorrow before your show, and maybe we can talk this out, work it out. And he said, no, let's just talk now. And so he called me. Now, my intentions, and I told him this, I wanted to go in this week. I wanted to go in tomorrow. And I wanted to finish this week, and I wanted to finish positively at InfoWars. And, I even said if he wanted me to kind of stick around like a satellite to go down with the ship, that I'd be willing to play some sort of a satellite role to go down with the ship and be a...
It sounds like Owen also may be worried about his job security, and I think that that's a fair thing to do. He also announced in this video that he's being sued much in the way that Alex is. I haven't seen that reported anywhere before, just before right now.
Part of that and continue, wearing the name on the front of the jersey for at least some semblance while it's still ongoing. And he didn't express any interest in that. And so he told me that he didn't need me and good luck. And that was that. That was that. So I wanted to make this announcement on InfoWars. I wanted to make this announcement with Alex. That actually meant a lot to me. That's what I wanted. I wanted to leave in a very positive fashion. I wanted to announce it to the InfoWars audience on the InfoWars airwaves. I wanted Alex and the crew and everybody to be there, and I wanted to shake Alex's hand. I wanted to thank him for everything. I wanted to just go down memory lane of all the things that we've done. But he wasn't interested in that. And he said, don't come in this week. So that was that.
So, again, I'm sure there was some heated words exchanged here. I like both these guys. So my kind of hope is that Alex and him can get together and do a proper send-off, and that Owen is wildly successful out on his own. He seems ready to be on his own, and that Alex continues to thrive, and he can, be successful as well. I hope you're informed by this video. If you were, please do leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Imagine. Oh my gosh.
This is Power Hour with Gabriella Power.
Hello and welcome to Power Hour. I'm Gabriella Power. Thank you for joining us. I hope you all had a wonderful Labor Day weekend and made the most of the last weekend of summer, enjoying your time with family and friends. It looks like it hasn't been a great weekend for thousands of lefty lunatics, though. They have spent the weekend protesting against Donald Trump, and they still seem to think that he's a king.
What has happened in this country is that the billionaires don't understand that this country was created in protest and in resistance to fight off a king, not to recreate a king.
Yeah, he's a democratically elected president, and we are lucky to have him. But in more bad news for unhinged lefties who were spending the weekend also spreading sick and deranged rumors about the president's health.
What's going? Did they do that thing again? Let's see. What's his name? What's his name? Hassan Nabin? It's pretty recent, right? It should have been recent. I guess they didn't do it yet. I thought they were... When is that supposed to happen? Let's see, Google. Hassan B. Kirk. Debate. When? Let's see. September 25th. Okay. September 25th. Oh shit. That's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be some good news right there. That'll be a good content day for sure. Let's see.
All right. Anyway, we gotta update the people. And I was hoping to get a different kind of update than what we're getting here, but we want to update the people on Rampage Jackson's delinquent felon son, Raja Jackson.
Well, I don't think you can actually call him a felon. He hasn't been arrested for anything yet.
Well, okay, then it escaped attempted wanted felon.
Well,
allegedly.
Well, I maybe should be a felon. Maybe that would work.
How about attempted homicidal mayhem attempter?
Yes. I don't know if you need to, yes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Well, you know, whatever the case it may be, this fucking guy, is who we're talking about. I was hoping we would have a update like, yeah, they've arrested this guy for bashing this other guy's face in and causing all this chaos and uproar and turmoil. Bunch of these, as we did a discussion of it on the previous show and the clip on YouTube, a lot of people have chimed in, a lot of people have heard it. Almost everybody in this whole thing is subject to some kind of blame, but anybody with a level head and a take on the real world knows that there was no excuse for what Raja did once he had a guy down unconscious in front of him. But have you heard he's been arrested, Brian, by any credible source or even incredible source?
No, I've not heard a single word about any. I heard that Psycho Stu is doing better and he's conscious, but I haven't heard anything about anything with Roger Jackson. No.
That's what I'm saying. This story took over the whole goddamn world for a couple of days, and then it's easier to get the Epstein files than it is to find out what's going on right now. Nobody else is saying anything. I've had random people that either on Twitter or commenting on the internet say that, oh, everything from Stu's not going to press charges to I think Rampage has paid the cops off or whatever, but no reputable source with actual information has said any goddamn thing about what's going to go on from here. And I am frankly somewhat stumped and dismayed that we don't have... They got a GoFundMe for his medical bills. It's raised $100,000 or whatever. But I'm not even going to relitigate the incident. And again, Brian, it's over 300,000 downloads, the clip on YouTube, us talking about the incident. Just us, much less everybody else in the world talked about it. And that's not even counting our podcast numbers. But is somebody not going to go to Psycho Stu and say, Mr. Stu, you may have been a goddamn outlaw mud show wrestler on the weekends as a veteran to deal with your PTSD last week, but now if you simply press charges against this guy that bashed your face in, then even if the criminal charges don't result in anything past a slap on the wrist or even a dismissal, these civil charges, the civil suit, is going to be much more productive. There is no jury in the world, whether it was supposed to be part of a quote-unquote fake wrestling match or not. There is no jury in the world that can see the footage of what happened in the parking lot with Dehydrated Alpha and the whole Hee-Haw gang, and the can on the head, and the shaking of the hands, and then the guy sitting in the front row saying, well, they told me he was, but I'm going to hit this motherfucker as many times as I can till they pull me off of him. And then him doing exactly that, when then sending the guy with the fucking ambulance with the teeth and the mouth and the blood and da-da-da-da. Case closed, as Judge Otto Dealer would say. Case is closed, baby. I don't know how much money Rampage still has. I don't know what this moron spawn of his does for an actual living. But I don't know if there's any insurance companies involved in this, but if Psycho Stu has one chance in his life of being a multimillionaire, and how is this already not in motion, baby? Because nobody, in much less criminal, if there's friends of friends or whatever the fuck involved, there's no... Brian, can you see a case where a civil jury would not award this fucking guy anything he's asking for?
No. In California, no.
Let's go, buddy.
How about in Montana? Anywhere.
No. I saw an interview. I don't know how much you got to see of anything else, but there was an interview with the cowboy hat guy.
Oh, I watched it too.
And he's trying to wash his hands of the whole thing too. He's trying to blame just the promoter and I guess the dehydrated alpha, as you have called him, which has become a popular nickname very quickly. He's trying to say it was all him, that he didn't do anything wrong, and he's really upset about it. He lost his job. But did you get to see any of that?
Yes. And I got to say, what's his name? AJ Manna?
I think so.
I think. The cowboy. And see, everybody's like, yo, Brian, they should have done research, Brian and Jim. They don't even know these people's names. Nobody knows these people's names.
Oh, you can't hit.
They're starting to now because they're all a bunch of fucking lunatics. But I'll say this about the cowboy. He can cut a promo. Of course, either that or he's a goddamn raging mental case also. And in this situation, you're not sure which one. Maybe both these things can be true. But he came off like a fucking lunatic that can cut a great promo. I don't, if he was working for the post office, I'd goddamn start going to UPS. But yeah, they're all trying to blame. But there's plenty of blame to go around. And I am not going to sit here and again relitigate the various cases against everybody that many are talking about, the drinking in the locker room and letting people in and this and that and the promoter sanctioning it, whatever.
Let's see if we got Cyrus.
And Rikishi wasn't even there. But I'm just saying that Psycho Stu has one chance in his life of being a multimillionaire. And I would hate to see him blow it. Over somebody. What do you think they're going to say? Well, don't press charges, or they won't let you wrestle anymore down here. Oh, it's my weekends. What am I going to do?
You know, in this case, I actually care less about Psycho Stu suing.
How about Sioux City Sue?
But more importantly, the idea of charges being filed or an arrest being made, because more importantly, Roger Jackson shouldn't be allowed to just walk around after doing what he did and then running away from it because he knew what he did was wrong.
But you know what? Here's what I'm thinking we were wrong, Brian. About, I don't know whether he should go to prison. Because in all honesty, said that it would probably be a short prison sentence. He might do one of these Dominic Mysterio things. He might come out of it and make a fucking profitable gimmick out of it. And you know, if he went to the county jail for 6 months or so, he could come out, he could do the whole Dominic Mysterio thing. You know what would be worse punishment? Worse punishment for him, because what was this whole thing about? His father, apparently, from what everybody's saying in all the comments that follow these people and their various lives and activities, making coleslaw and taking a shit, his father browbeats him verbally, treats him like shit, and hadn't been a good parent. And this guy, he's a fucking wannabe MMA fighter that already got a concussion in sparring. Good Lord, hopefully, they'll wrap him in bubble wrap next time, so he's already soft. And then he took the cheap shots here, so we know he's a pussy. Instead of glorifying him, sending him to prison, what about if all of the people that heard about this whole incident, and like I said, there was over 300,000 of just our clip on YouTube, and then plus the podcast numbers, and everybody else talked about this, so millions and millions.
Most watched indie match ever, you could say.
What about if everybody for the rest of this kid Roger Jackson's life, every time they saw him coming, they said, hey, look at there, there's Bitch Jackson.
There's Bitch Jackson.
Because that's what he was all upset about. They ain't going to treat me like a bitch. They ain't going to call me like a bitch. Well, from now on, just laugh at him. The big pussy that he is, that he has to beat up unconscious people. And just, hey, bitch, how you doing? Just smile at him. If he goes in the post office, or he goes in a restaurant, or he goes in the fucking gas station, or whatever, hey, it's bitch. How you doing, bitchy?
Bitchy is crazy.
For the rest of his life, that would drive him out of his mind. And I don't know how it works with the, what do they call these things? The twitches and the kicks that he was streaming on.
Well, I don't know what platform he was streaming on, but Twitch is I don't know about kicks, but Twitch is a streaming service, yes.
Well, whatever they are, or I don't know how Facebook works and all the Twitters that they do and the Instagram and Telegram and whatever. Just start calling him Bitch Jackson. Hey, bitch. That will send this fucking guy up a goddamn telephone pole.
Bitch Jackson's
And
nuts.
Since Quentin Rampage Jackson is a great fighter, Hall of Fame fighters, we can't call him a bitch, but since he has spawned a little bitch, then he becomes the bitch father. Because he's a better fighter than he is a father, because he fucked up because of this kid. How many times you think Quentin Rampage Jackson wants to be called the bitch father? Then he'll go to Bitch Jackson and say, you dumb, stupid motherfucker, you've ruined our goddamn lives with your fucking idiot shit.
Why'd you toot on him?
So all the wrestling fans could get together and wage a bitch campaign against the Bitch Jackson.
Should put on Wigglytuff.
Well, apparently they'll get to see him. He's booked for some show, apparently, allegedly.
Exactly.
Danger Pro Wrestling.
We heard this right before we were starting to record this program. I've never heard of Danger. Wait a minute. That was a fucking band, right? Danger?
Danger.
Maybe, yeah.
But they didn't have anything to do with wrestling.
Danger, High Voltage. That's a song.
Well, there you go. One of those things. Where are these people from and what do they do? And they are apparently alleging that they are bringing Raja Jackson to their event to do what remains to be seen. But the first of the lowlifes comes out from under a rock.
Yeah, and there's no date attached. They put up a image coming soon to Danger Pro Wrestling, Raja Jackson. In a bold move, they're writing this about themselves. In a bold move, indie pro wrestling company Danger Pro books now infamous son of Rampage Jackson, Raja Jackson, for upcoming appearance at their event. That's the way it's phrased there. No event is listed. Stay tuned for opponent and date. All dates are currently listed on our Eventbrite. San Diego. So apparently this is Southern California. Here's another show of theirs. Dirty Ron presents.
Dirty Ron? Wait a minute. Yeah. Hold on. No. We can't talk about that line of videos. I've seen a bunch of those. Dirty Ron's videos? No.
Dirty Ron presents Devil's Night of Death Matches, tribute to Sabu.
Oh, good Lord.
All death matches, only
all the time.
Only 80 tickets. October 31st.
Wait a minute. Only 80 tickets or only 80 tickets left?
It says only 80 tickets on their image. They put that there. It wasn't something I made up. Doors 7:30, all ages before 10 p.m. 7:30 to 10 p.m. wrestling. There'll also be a costume contest for a cash prize. Trying to see anything else here. There's another show. Danger 7/27/24. So apparently this was over a year ago. Oh, it says here, happy 1-year anniversary to Danger Pro. 42 shows in 52 weeks. Not bad. Hashtag San Diego, Costa Mesa.
Wait a minute. 42 shows in a year, but in a building that holds 80 people. What do you think the profit margin is here?
I'm not sure. Here's another one of their shows, Live Pro Wrestling. Oops! All death matches. And is that the Necro Butcher? And yeah, they have the Necro Butcher for the Dirty Ron's Devil's Night of Death Matches. Only 80 tickets. Necro Butcher will be there on the show. Also, Damien.
I thought, wait a minute. Hold on. I thought he retired 15 years ago.
No, I had heard that he was doing some stuff not too long ago. So I knew he was doing something, but I didn't realize he was working for Danger Pro in front of 80 people in San Diego. Damien 666. Lucha Legend. Apparently he's working for them. Bestia 666.
What the fuck
so
is
they're
going on?
really getting all the 666.
Wait a minute. Shouldn't there be heat between the Bestia 666 and the Damien 666 over the gimmick? Are they a team?
I am not sure. It seems like they use a lot of... Well, if these aren't luchadors, they're people who dress like luchadors.
Well, I was about to say this also. Nick Gulas used to book the fucking interns in 3 different towns on the same night and just send the real ones to the town that had the best advance. So
apparently this is Dirty Ron. It says, because it's a happy birthday thing, Dirty Ron McDonald, and he's dressed like a evil Ronald McDonald in terms of face paint, I guess. So he must be one of the head honchos at Danger Pro. Quickly, if you want to go see this show, there may only be 80 tickets. You better hurry up quick and get those tickets. We'll see what happens. What do you think of the idea of someone booking him? The idea of someone booking him and wrestlers being okay with that.
Well, we have no evidence that any of these people on these shows are actually real wrestlers that work anywhere else or are goddamn affiliated with anything otherwise than Dirty
Get
Ron's
that
wet
animal
dream or
in
whatever
jail.
No, I think
bar wrestling. That's
kidding.
what this is.
He's probably gonna get his ass whooped.
Is it even that dignified? Is it, but nevertheless, I think it would be ridiculous to book this fucking guy on anything that alleges themselves to be professional wrestling, trying to draw fans of professional wrestling, not garbage death match or not drunken bums in a bar or not as part of a whole goddamn spectacle of lunacy. For anybody that's actually in the wrestling business, no, I think it would be ridiculous. And I think the fans would, if they won't tolerate Joey Ryan, how are they going to tolerate this fucking guy? At least Ryan never attempted to murder anybody. He wouldn't have been able to accomplish it to begin with, but he never tried. So how the fuck do you think wrestling fans on any type of legitimate show would, take this? No.
Oh, man.
And I think there's like 300,000 posts on X that say that Trump is dead. And there's a lot of speculation.
What the fuck?
And what was really bizarre to me, because there's a lot of...
I mean, let's go. Let's fucking do it.
And I think there's like 300,000 posts on X that say that Trump is dead. And there's a lot of speculation. And what was really bizarre to me, because there's a lot of tenuous explanations. He's on vacation. He's taking a break. He's resting. Who knows? But you would expect that if everybody in the whole world, or a lot of people, thought that he was dead, what's Trump's move? What's he going to do the next morning? If on a Friday night, everybody is saying Trump died, we haven't seen him in days, what's Trump's obvious next move, knowing him? Oh, well, the next morning, he's going to be doing a marathon cabinet meeting. He's going to be doing a marathon press pool. And all the little MAGA shills are going to go on Twitter and say, oh, our fearless leader just spoke to the press for 7 hours. How does he do it? He seems to be aging in reverse. He looks amazing. But he didn't do that. They said that he went golfing, but the press was not allowed within a football field distance of the actual president. They weren't allowed to go up close and personal, weren't allowed to go on the golf course. And so what we got the following day and days were these blurry photographs from very far away. No cabinet meeting, no press pool, no press on the golf course, nothing. Just these bizarre photos that look weird. And what's more, not only that, because it's surprising, but then you see a lot of the pro-Trump accounts on Twitter, they start posting old photographs, old videos. It almost seems like maybe that was intentional, that Trump went out dressed like he did in an older photo, and then the line they were pushing was to use the old photo, the old video, and Trump and them would insinuate that the old photos were actually from that very day and make it look like he's all right. It's all very bizarre.
Honestly, I've seen so many theories on Twitter about all this stuff. My guess is that something is happening. They're not being forward with it because they just don't want to. And I'm pretty sure they are baiting, in a way, the press, the public. It's just like it's the end of August. The guy wants a few free days and they just run with it. And then he's gonna come back like all healthy, like nothing ever happened.
This is the moment where I'm like, fuck it, I'm out. I'm out. And I know you know that. I mean, I've been out, but I am out. What is this even anymore? Who can defend this? It just gets worse every week. You know, day one, they said deportations are going to start on day one. We're coming to Chicago. Remember Tom Holman, that nitwit? We're going to come to Chicago on day one, whether they like it or not. And then what happened? Day one, well, it's only been one day. We can't do it. Day two, well, it's only been 2 days.
Oh,
it was over before it began. Dude, they put Sriram Krishnam as like an AI czar. Elon Musk was browbeating the Trump supporters on Christmas and New Year's because they didn't want limitless H-1Bs. They made Marco Rubio the Secretary of State. Scott Bessent used to work for George Soros and he's gay. This is our administration. It was cooked from the start. And it just keeps going. No mass deportations, no end to the war in Ukraine. We're bombing Iran. They're saying we'll do it again. Buried the Epstein files and covered it up for weeks. We're now against Thomas Massie for some reason because it's like an open cover-up of Pedophile Island. And now he's fucking sick. Now he's hiding in his basement like Joe Biden. And we're supposed to say, our glorious president is aging in reverse. It's a miracle. He's Benjamin Button. It's totally insane. It's totally insane.
Bring him up.
And these people need a reality check. Like, at this point, it's doing more harm than good. It's just damaging.
I mean, I don't know. Personally, I wish the administration will. I wish that they will do stuff. And I wish Nick would be more like that, as opposed to just being against Trump and the administration no matter what. Like, I will agree. He is correct on this point, and he is correct on Brazil and what the Brazilians are doing, subverting the politics. Yeah, he is right. But it's just like, dude, just it's like there's nothing else to choose from.
The Republicans and the Democrats are both fucking us. They're both fucking us.
Oh, hell yeah.
They both did a
I'm
COVID
taking top
stimulus.
decks. I'm almost
They both
taking
did
them,
a
bro.
regressive
Ooh,
wealth transfer.
They're like one hit away.
They both let BLM destroy the country. That happened under Trump and
That shit's
Obama,
fucking
actually. They both brought in millions of illegals. Trump did, and Obama did, and Biden did. Now Trump is just closing it down because they took it really far. They all had a hand in the war in Ukraine. They all had a hand in many of these things. What the Republican Party represents is like an Israeli wrecking ball to American stability. That's really how I see it. Because the Trump administration is not really delivering revolutionary change. Are you richer than you were 10 years ago? No. Is the tax burden any better? No, it's worse. Insurance is more expensive. Healthcare is more expensive. Taxes are high. Cost of living is high. Housing costs are high. So you're not better off economically. Are we involved in fewer wars than we were 10 years ago? No, we're involved in more. Are there fewer illegals? No, there's way more. And yeah, there's not as many coming in now, but on net, there's way more here. What has changed is the polarization. And it's now that we know what we know about Fox News and Trump, it seems like this was like the real subversion of America. an Israeli wrecking ball. When I look at the Republican Party, when I look at Mike Johnson, the Trump administration, Fox News, I see the frat bro uprising. That's what I see. I see Shabbos Kestenbaum. I see Ben Shapiro. I see Jared Kushner. When I look at the whole thing, I see the whole thing as a front, like they tricked white Americans like me. I am a nativist. I am an immigration restrictionist. I'm a white nationalist. I'm a nationalist. I'm America first. I'm a non-interventionist, a restrainer, a prioritizer, whatever the lexicon is now. Ideologically, I'm a protectionist. I'm where Trump appealed to in 2016, and that class of voter was tricked. They leaned into white grievance. They leaned into fatigue of war. They leaned into distrust of the institutions. They leaned into that. And the Republicans used whites like the Democrats used blacks. The Israelis used the Republican Party to use whites in the same way that the Democrats and the globalists on that side use blacks and stupid college kids and women. It's the same playbook, don't you understand? The same interests with some minor factional disputes. They use the voters on the Democrat side, the young college kids, the women, the racial and ethnic minorities, just like how the interests on the Republican side are using the white people, ginning up the white people. And it's like, newsflash, nothing's fucking changed. They got the white people ramped up about immigration. We're no better off. They got the white people ramped up about black people and crime, and we're no better off. We're worse off. When push came to shove, they let BLM destroy the cities because Sean Hannity told Trump that'd be good for the election in 2020. They got everybody ramped up about trade and infrastructure, and they did jack shit on both. There's no subsidies. There's no reliable tariff schedule. There's no major legislation on that. There's no infrastructure bill. They got people ramped up about the wars, and there's more of them now. There's more of them. We're sending them more weapons. We're going to Venezuela as we speak.
And the true black pill is you realizing that it will never change no matter who you vote for. And no matter what revolution is going to take place, the people that will end up in positions of power will do the exact same things, because this is what people in positions of power do. They conquer, they master, and they just keep going.
There needs to be something new. That's what I'm in. People say, you're going to vote for Newsom? I want something new. I want something different. I don't want to do the same thing over and over. I don't want to be somebody's boy. I don't want to be the Israelis or Fox News or the Republicans or Trump's boy.
Fuck that.
I want something new. I want something different. And even if it's the burn it all down party, at least that's a actual fucking choice.
Right? That makes sense.
People say, you like Newsom just because he's handsome? Dude, I don't give a fuck. At least if you vote for John Pork, if you vote for Kanye, if you vote for something different, at least you're not complicit in your own rape. At least you're not complicit in this scheme that is meant to dispossess you of your birthright. People say, lesser of two evils, we are being dispossessed. Doesn't matter what rate that it's happening, you're voting, you're affirming. Do you understand this? People say, well, I don't care what anybody says, it's better under Trump. He's dispossessing us too. You're voting for it. You are affirming it. You are saying, may I have another? Yes, and I want more. And we just can't do that anymore. And the only way to express that is negation, rejection, denial. You cannot have them come to you and say, no, Stephen Miller's gonna... Stephen Miller's, first of all, he only gives a shit about Israel. He doesn't give a shit about you, and it's not even happening. 1,000 deportations a day, try 800 arrests per day. I saw some guy in a group chat today said Stephen Miller's like a stereotypical Chinese mob boss. He's a fucking stereotypical glib, arrogant Jew who will lie to your face to get what he wants. That's what the GOP does. And until we reject that, and you can reject it on both sides, I really don't care. But until the message to the institutions is we reject both, we're not playing the game, you'll get more of it. It's basic moral hazard. I know that's difficult for normies to get. Trump supporters, stay with me here. I know this is tough. You want to turn on Sean Hannity brainwashing machine and just hear the same thing over and over again every single night. The radical left, the radical left. Harry Sisson and BLM. Like, you have to snap out of it. This country is going to hell. The Republicans are not helping at all. And not for a lack of, and for a lack of trying, actually. I was going to say not, but for a lack, they are not trying to fix it. So he's a fake Marine. He's a fake venture capitalist, and then he's a fake MAGA senator. Now he's the vice president of the United States. Even his name is fake. He didn't go by Vance until he was 30 years old.
Yo guys, welcome back to another Base Lore video. I'm the Lore Man. Nick Fuentes just exposed the truth about JD Vance, and honestly, it's ugly. This guy didn't rise up on his own. His whole career was engineered by neocons, defense contractors, billionaire elites like Peter Thiel. You know that hillbilly story, total manipulation. Every move he's made was designed to steer the GOP toward the moderate left agenda. And most of you have no idea. Nick Fuentes is a conservative, if you haven't heard of him. If you're tired of being lied to by the media, if you're sick of fake conservatives playing games with your country, you need to see this. This is actually insane. Hit like, subscribe, turn on notifications. We're trying to get Nick pushed on YouTube. His clips need to be seen by the people, so make sure you drop a like, comment, subscribe. We're dropping 4 or 5 clips a day. Let's get into it.
There's a really interesting article about Vance that was written by David Frum a few years ago. And for those that don't know, David Frum is your prototypical liberal neocon Republican. So David Frum writes an article about JD Vance. I think this was last year, a couple of years ago. It was in the Atlantic. And it turns out that Vance was writing for Frum in 2011. When J.D. Vance was in his mid-20s, after he left the Marines, before he went to Yale Law School, Vance was writing for Frum. And he was writing, among other things, in defense of affirmative action, writing in defense of the war in Iraq. He was a neocon. He wrote 6 articles for Frum in 2011, 15 years ago, when he was my age. Damn. At this very early stage, before Vance went to law school, before he wrote Hillbilly Elegy, before he's anybody, David Frum writes that everybody on his team believes that Vance will play an important role in national politics as the leader of moderate conservatism, that Vance would recapture the GOP from the Tea Party and from the populists for the moderates. You have to wonder, what would make someone like David Frum, a neocon, believe that a 25-year-old veteran who was really a journalist in the Marines, didn't even see combat, what would make him think that this obscure blogger would play a national role in politics leading moderate conservatism? His articles were that good? But Frum says, he tells us what makes him believe that. He says that J.D. Vance's superpower is his credibility. And his credibility comes from his personal narrative. What's his personal narrative? Hillbilly Elegy. That he's got this story about being from the Rust Belt and emerging from strife. So he's a 25, 26-year-old veteran who didn't even see combat. It's not like he's a war hero, not like he's some high-ranking guy. He wrote PR articles. He's some obscure blogger, and they say this guy's going to be a national figure in moderate conservatism because his superpower is his credibility. Now, what does credibility mean? It means believability. Credible means believable. What does credibility mean in that context? It means that Vance would have credibility, believability for white rubes, for white GOP voters. He would have credibility with them. He would have credibility, believability, relatability because of his story that these middle American radicals that Sam Francis describes, the white working class, would believe him as he delivered the GOP from the Tea Party to moderate conservatism, to a socially inclusive, neocon, environmentally friendly version of conservatism. And let's not forget, as late as 2017, Vance loved Barack Obama. So this is a pro-Obama, pro-Iraq war, pro-affirmative action, pro-transgender, moderate conservative, mentored by a neocon. And the neocon says this guy is going to save the GOP from the Tea Party because the rubes will believe him. You go through his life story and you realize that everything about him is fake. His time in the military, fake. Look up his role in the Marines. He was a correspondent, a combat correspondent, which means he wrote press releases for the military. So he's a fake Marine. He goes to Yale Law School. He meets Peter Thiel. His first job in tech, it's a biotech firm. The CEO says he only hired Vance as a favor to Peter Thiel. That was his first job. How does a law school graduate go to work for a biotech firm? Well, the guy that hired him tells us he hired him as a favor to Thiel. Then Vance works at a series of venture capital firms. First, he works for Thiel for about 7 months while he drops his book. Then he works for the founder of AOL at a company called Revolution. Then he starts his own venture capital firm with money from Peter Thiel. 3 firms in 5 years. When he was at Peter Thiel's firm, his colleagues say they never saw him in the office. Inexplicably, he raises over $120 million at his firm, mostly from Peter Thiel, Mark Andreessen, and others. So he's a fake venture capitalist. Then, even though he opposed Trump from the very beginning,
I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him.
Peter Thiel organizes a meeting with Vance and Trump in 2021 to smooth things over. And then in 2021, Vance declares his candidacy for Senate of Ohio. Peter Thiel makes the biggest contribution of any individual donor in a Senate race in American history of $15 million.
Damn.
Thiel, with his connections, secures Trump's endorsement, and Vance becomes a senator. So he's a fake Marine, he's a fake venture capitalist, and then he's a fake MAGA senator. Now he's the vice president of the United States. Even his name is fake. He didn't go by Vance until he was 30 years old. Vance was the name of his Meemaw, and he changed his name to Vance
Meemaw.
just a few years before he published his book, which had been in the works for as much time, about his Meemaw, his story that gives him the credibility. For 30 years, he was J.D. Hamill and went by other names. He's a complete artifice that was created by neocons and defense contractors. There's nothing organic about it. Nobody organically gets hired at Mithril Capital and launches a book that for some reason just blows up. It's not organic to get $15 million to run for Senate from a CIA contractor. That's not organic. They are going to start pushing Vance for president 2028. Vance for president 2028. That is what they're going with. And that's why you see across the board all this Vance shilling. Vance is funny. Vance is like Jim Halpert from The Office. Vance made that face. Vance, they're pushing it so hard. And you know what's so funny? Vance for president was born a week after Trump's inauguration in 2017. In that same article with David Frum says that there was a meeting a week after Trump's inauguration in Washington, D.C. Vance called all the never-Trumpers, including Frum, who voted for Hillary Clinton, to plan out a future Vance for president campaign in the late 2020s or early 2030s. And here we are.
Here we are, baby.
His conspicuous ascendancy from fake venture capitalist to U.S. Senator, and then in 2 years from U.S. Senator to Vice President, and in 4 years to front runner for President of the United States.
And there it is, the Vance scam. Exposed for everyone still asleep.
I like that.
You know, every step of his career was carefully engineered to manipulate you, the voter, and push the GOP away from real conservatism. This isn't politics. I mean, at this point, it's blueprint for control, and Nick just broke it down. If you're awake after watching this, smash that like button, subscribe, drop a comment, let people know you're red-pilled. You know, share this video. It's important. We need to send this to our friends, wake people up, trying to get these Nick clips uninterrupted, playing for you guys, trying to drop 5 a day. It's taking up most of my day now. So I'm trying to balance it in between work and my free time. So really appreciate it if you press subscribe. Take care.
I press subscribe, bucko. All right. I'm going to take a shower now, guys. I got to get ready for the day. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. I got to get ready for the day. I'll talk to you guys later. Good shit today. That was fun. I'll be back on later today. Way later. Like maybe 8 o'clock. 8 p.m. All right.